If somebody was sentenced to death at Newgate, they would be taken to a place called Tyburn in the countryside to be hanged. On the way to Tyburn, they would visit loads of different pubs, getting more and more drunk as the journey went on, and people bought them sympathy drinks. This is where the term one for the road comes from. The idea was to get people absolutely gutted before being hung as a small mercy. If they survived the hanging, they would be taken back to a cell to sleep it off, and would wake up with a very sore head and a sore neck. So people would often say, "You look like you've survived a hanging," which eventually became hangover. All that being said, welcome aboard, you sick freaks! Hold on to your assholes, let's get rolling. Welcome to the Fluffenhammer.
Every man lives, not every man truly dies.
I know we're perfect strangers, and I'm reaching out to you. We got to be together, but I haven't a clue how we beat up. I could need some of you. Straight up, there is nothing else I'd rather do. Sit tight, you may think it's in vain. We need to get back. We need to get back in the game.
Every man lives, not every man truly dies. Every man lives.
Thanks, Andy. Filling in there for the voiceover. Brilliant.
It'll just be me saying it again, potentially in the edit. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, just you. Why not? Let's go for it.
I'll just remix it. Every man lives.
Let's make it a thing.
Every man lives.
Have the
Let's
quack.
make it a thing for the Fluffenhammer.
Quack.
Oh my word. How you doing, fellas? And how are you
Oh,
all out
good.
there in the world?
All good here, you know. Say, well, you know, we're all British, so we can't say that, can we? We can't say we're all good because you don't do that. We're fine. We're okay. All things considered.
All things
Isn't that what we normally say?
You know, mustn't grumble. Could be
Mustn't
worse.
grumble. Could be worse. That's the one. Could be worse.
Could be worse. My legs could have been replaced with termites overnight, and every time I stand up, my legs scatter to the four winds and I fall on my face. That could happen.
Is that a star frog that I see on the
Yeah, I've
Twitch?
decided, like, while we don't have a story going, I thought, why not have just like
Why
a little
not?
frog in the stars? You
It's
know?
a slan, right?
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
It's an old one. It's yay! It's one of the creators of the universe. Apparently,
Just a happy frog.
will they ever bring them back?
Life.
Will they
What, the
ever
star
bring them
frogs?
back? That's the thing.
Oh, for 40k.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point in the far future, maybe not in the that far, they will come back as a race or something.
If they just redesigned most of the Seraphon and just added like Terminator bits into them, like cyborg eyes and chainsaw arms, I think that'd be.
I think
fun.
they could get away with it. I think they could get away with that.
They just use bows and arrows still, though, but they're like energy bows and arrows.
Energy bow. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Star,
yeah.
quote unquote star powered, you know. I'd be down with that, that's
Of
fine.
course.
I don't think they would, because they're trying to keep that disconnect between the fantasy and the science fiction part of it. I can imagine them doing something else amphibious, but it wouldn't be the slan. As long as it's wearing Napoleonic shoulder pads, I'm quite happy.
But what if the slan decided to take a page out of the Termagants books and they decided to shoot tadpoles at people, and the tadpoles would bury in the flesh of the person and then grow into slans and explode out of them?
You know
The
what they would have
tadpole
to
gun.
do? I mean, if they did bring them back in one way, shape, or form, they would have to do something to diminish them, because they would have to like build in some fluff whereby they degenerated over the eons. Because of course, the slan in the 40k background, or the old ones, their technology is like godlike, right? They can literally reshape reality whenever they want. They created the Eldari, right? They would have to diminish them in some way. Otherwise, they'd be just like, ridiculously powerful.
Would the
No.
Eldari be poncy towards their creators
the
in this
thing
day and
is,
age, or would they be a
probably
bit more
not.
reverent?
They would be arseholes to them, wouldn't they? Because they
Yeah, I
are,
thought so, yeah.
Eldari are so xenophobic. They believe the only worthwhile entity in existence is another Eldari, and even then they're a little bit. Oh well, you're not the right kind of Eldari, are you? You know.
Not my Eldari.
Exactly. But I mean, funnily enough, the ones who'd be most excited would be the Drukhari, because of course they'd have an entirely new set of, a new species to play with.
Would the Drakari give up their ways if the let's say the theory going that the Slan could break the hold of Slanesh over them?
Probably not.
It's too late, right?
Probably
they're too
not.
locked into their culture now.
Yeah, some of them might. I mean, because the Drakari are really weird because they're technically 3 races in one. Because you've got the Kabbalites, who are very, very different from the witches, who are very, very, very different from the Homunculi Covens. The Homunculi Covens definitely wouldn't. They are too far gone. They're
lampshade people. They're furniture makers. So at this point, yeah.
They operate in their entirely other arena at the moment. The Kabbalites, they're probably too degenerate as well at this point and too selfish and whatnot. The witch cults, I think the witch cults are the most likely because they at least retain some sense of sanity about themselves. The others do not.
My question here, though, would be, would the Slan be able to do anything? Being flesh makers and that they didn't really do much with the spirit as such, did they? So would they be able to do much about the Slaneshi? Should we call it the Slaneshi issue and make it sound like a 1940s?
That's a fair point. I mean, I don't know because they did have warpcraft as well, didn't they? I mean, they manipulated the warp as well. So I mean,
true.
They do have the technology. I mean, didn't these guys create the webway as well? So,
was it the Slan that did that, or was it somebody else?
Yeah, it was supposed to. I mean, originally it was the Eldari, but they've actually changed that now. It was the Slan. It was the old ones who created like the original foundations of the webway.
Right, here's a question for you. Say you are an Eldari, right?
Yes.
No.
And you're gonna join me in this role play, right?
Right.
You're gonna join me in this hypothetical situation, Andy, or else, unfortunately,
I feel uncomfortable, but that's fine.
Your soul will be put through the bear trap of Slanesh.
That sounds great. That sounds fun.
So you're there. You're an Eldari. You're going around your life, and then all of a sudden somebody says, "Oh no, here come the Slan." Do you automatically assume that they are going to say Slanesh and start shooting? Or do you go, Slan, haha, they're the ones we like. We don't like the ones with the esh at the end. It's something that's always struck me as the Slan created everything, including the Eldari. The Eldari go, oh no, it's Slanesh. Do they not just start screaming every time somebody says, we were created by Slan? Just thought. Just one of those thoughts that's been in my head since 1989.
But no, it's an interesting point Andy brought up. I mean, if you could somehow sever a connection between Slanesh and the Drakari, would they change? Would they?
What if, right?
I don't think so at all.
You some Eldari find a Slan ruin of some description. One says to the other, "You know what? Looks a bit Slanish," and the other one mishears him and shoots him in the head. I'm not taking full credit for that one. That comes from something that Daffod in Big Swinging D in the chat said. So
I was going to say who? Daffod? What's a Daffod?
He's a big swinging D. That's what he is.
Sort yourself out.
Sorry,
Come on now.
I got his name wrong.
Come on.
Everyone's a big swinging with the first letter of their name.
What is it the Eldari call Slanesh? It's she who thirsts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she who thirsts.
But there's a few different names. She who thirsts.
Yeah.
The endless ravening. That's another one that.
Big
is that
Mommy.
another one they call it?
Big Mommy.
It's more of a Drakari one.
I really can't see a prim and proper Farsi just going, yes, we wish to protect ourselves from Big Mammy.
Yeah, no, it's more Drakari. It's like step on me, mommy.
Yeah.
Eat my soul, mommy. Swallow me whole, mommy.
The way you said it, I was just thinking like black and white minstrels, mommy.
Mommy.
We're going down paths here. I'm Adam.
Yeah.
That's Andy. Over there's George.
Hi. Hello.
George is a disembodied voice this week
I am at
because
the moment,
he's
yes.
he's lost his camera. That's okay.
It's around somewhere. I
Yeah.
just can't remember. It's one of those things where where you put something somewhere specific and then you can't remember where that place is. It's
We all represent the stages of existence. So Gruff is alive, I'm partially dead, and when you lose everything, you become like George.
ethereal. Yes,
Ethereal, yeah.
non-corporeal.
I
yeah.
thought you were going to go a
That's
different way
me.
with that, where George is the before, I am the current, and you are the after.
Well,
George is
you
the
know,
concept. Oh,
that's
that's
right.
powerful. That's very
Oh,
powerful.
absolutely. Yeah, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. I'm the abstract.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, do you realise what I haven't done? When I said it looks a bit slannish, I should have gone, it looks a bit slannish.
Hey!
Oh no! Let's not start that.
You realize it's going to become a staple, like by next time we do it. It won't be drums. Gruff will have other sound effects, but
Oh yeah, I'm so going to spend a week just like loading sound effects into this thing.
Apu. Samsung.
Anyhow, how are you guys doing, and what have you been up to since last we spoke? It's been 2 and a bit weeks, and I know Andy's been busy since last we talked.
Oh yeah, Andy, those Astra Military you've done are friggin' awesome. They look great.
Thank you. Yeah, they're not too bad. I've got some pigment powder, which I'm going to attempt to like dust up the bases on them to make them feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
I haven't got around to it yet, but I'm going to slap that on at some point. I need to buy some sand as well, some clean sand.
Yeah. Some
Just
clean
again to get
sand.
some- Yeah,
yeah. I need
What?
to get me some clean dirt.
To be fair, I've seen like a few like people who like do basing videos, and they
Yes.
say you can just go to the beach and get sand, but it's not. They did use the term. It's not clean.
No, it's right. I mean, it's true. You are absolutely right.
It's a bit clean sand.
I'm just being facetious.
No, but you're quite right. It sounds stupid to say it. It does sound dumb.
I love the notion. I think it's brilliant.
It's
like,
stupid
when
that you
people
can
say-
get different sizes of sand as well from the pestle. I didn't know that was a thing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh no, I want a bigger grain.
textures, all that
Yeah,
kind of.
it's-
Do you want
it's
desert
bloody
sand? Do you
sand.
want beach sand?
Well, fucking sand, mate. Come on, man.
I want sand. It's like going into a subway, isn't it? So what do you want on that? Well, what bread do you want? What cheese do you want? Do you want it toasted?
It's the bread question. What bread do you want? I don't know. Is it bready?
What have you got?
cheese on top of it, because I don't like cheese on top of the bread. That's always weird. I like cheese in the bread, but not on the bread. But yeah, man.
I've taught myself now just to say the words hearty Italian whenever anybody asks me what bread I want. It's just that way I don't have to like think or get confused by Subway. And let's face it, Subway is a confusing thing to go into. You walk in and there's just like somebody just slowly putting on rubber gloves. Yeah, what can I do? Nothing. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
It is a fast food that you need to prepare for. You need to have a list or something, or at least like an idea of what you're going in for.
I don't know how true this
it goes
is.
south. It goes south really quickly.
I don't know how true this is, but I did hear recently that Ireland like legally can't define the bread in Subway as bread. They have to define it as cake because of the amount of sugar that's in it.
that I can believe.
Yeah.
That I can believe. American bread. Sorry, guys, it's shite.
Oh, it's terrible.
Raw.
What's
shite.
worse? What's worse, their bread or their cheese?
Oh, the cheese.
bread.
Oh, the
No.
cheese. Come on.
I don't know. It's.
I mean, bread at least looks like bread. At least looks. Their cheese is an abomination.
If an American offers you a cheese sandwich, they just hate
No.
you. They just hate you. They don't like you as a person.
It's an abomination, is what it is.
Big Swing and B says they're chocolate, and that's also fair.
That's also very bad. But the
Yeah.
cheese is a thing. You put cheese in cans. What the fuck is wrong with you? Aerated cans of cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the British are not. Are definitely no saints in regard to food and whatnot. But one of the very few things this country does well is cheese. One of the very few things this country does well. And calling that horror cheddar. It's like you actually want to take yourself up to the gorge and chuck yourself off. Quite frankly. Into the abyss.
I didn't see this being the way the show was going tonight.
No.
I really didn't.
Nor did I, actually. Nor did I. This has happened very spontaneously.
This is why in fantasy, the Skaven never touched like the upper part of the world where America would have been, because it's just bad cheese.
It's just bad cheese, yeah.
Bad cheese.
They're actually connoisseurs, being
Yeah.
rat people.
As somebody who cannot digest or absorb the lactose enzyme, for it creates both bad magic in the stomach and a pain in the lungs, which means I can't breathe.
Was that a Flight of Dragons reference?
It was indeed.
I thought it was. My God, that was. How many people are going to get that, Adam?
You!
Me, yeah.
Literally it.
It was aimed at me exclusively.
Yeah, I will actually stand up for American cheese because it's so processed. It destroys the lactose enzyme.
Right, so you can
my
eat
God.
it.
So I can eat it.
Oh my god.
Oh my God! Wow.
McDonald's cheese, right? McDonald's cheese, absolutely fine. Not a single, well, other than it being McDonald's, not a single bad thing will happen to me. But if I had like a Kraft slice, then my breathing starts to get really laboured and my stomach starts cramping.
God.
In America, I could probably just walk around with like a full-blown piece of what they call cheddar on a stick, just
'Cause
licking
it
it like an
ain't.
ice lolly.
It
I wonder
ain't.
if you could have the can. Could you have the can of cheese?
I mean, I'm not going to try. 'cause-
No. I'm curious. Like, I want to go to America with you and try cheeses and see whereabouts
not.
the line is drawn.
Andy,
Yeah.
I have been for the last 6 weeks every day entering a raffle to win a family holiday to
Wow.
to Orlando. If
Yeah, it's the only way you're going back these days.
Oh,
Jesus.
absolutely.
Oh my
absolutely.
god. Oh.
So what I've heard you say there, Andy, is you're now my 18-year-old son, and
Yes.
you're,
I'm here to facilitate my father's horrible cheese addiction.
That's why we're here. That's the entire point of the trip.
No
yeah,
more,
you-
son, as I'm just squirting it around your mouth.
that moment where you're walking through customs, it's like, are you here for business or pleasure? Cheese! I'm here for cheese!
Oh, you come to the wrong country, denied access. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I always remember
Actually,
the...
I mean, I actually got in a game for the first time against Astra Militaria recently, Andy, and they're bastards.
oh, yeah.
Well,
10th. Oh my God!
Did you
Take the
suffer
right
from indirect?
army.
Did you suffer from indirect fire?
Yes.
It doesn't matter anymore. The rules changed.
Have they changed it?
Yeah, I saw All Specs did a video, and it was when I watched it, which was a few hours ago. It was 35 minutes from there, so it was pretty early.
Right.
What's the tall unit class as? The Titans?
Yes. Titanic, isn't it? Towering.
Towering. That's been changed. Eldari have been changed. They don't get as many
Good.
fate dice.
I think
That
I
makes sense.
think I saw the Eldari one. What they've done is they've limited the amount you can use per phase.
That's
Because
probably it.
what
Yeah.
Eldari players were doing is they were just spending all of their fate dice in the first phase, and just obliterating everything in the first turn.
He did mention that in tournaments, 9 out of 11 game victories. It's like,
Yeah. That's
yeah. But yeah, a lot of the militarum stuff seems to be the indirect fire stuff has just been made more expensive. I think is how
that
it's
makes
working.
sense because it's very good in
But
10th.
but it's not fair
very-
because there's no, what he said is there aren't any other good options for Astra Militarum. They've basically taken the only thing that they're really good at and gone, you can't do that now. It's like, are you going to make the Lehman Russes better? And they haven't yet. It's like,
But yeah, they were very good, I've got to say. Facing my opponent's old Astra Militaria army with his lots of basilisks and whatnot.
were
It
they
was like,
Cadians or were they the older kind of weirder,
No,
strange?
they were from fourth. They were like those Astra Militaria that were like almost slightly. They had a sci-fi edge to them.
Okay.
Like Imperial Navy almost.
Yeah. So it wasn't the what they call Mordians. I
No.
like those.
It could-
The
or it
Mordians
could-
are pretty fun.
The Mordian Iron Guard.
Yeah, I wish they'd
Yeah, I
make
like
those guys again, or the desert. I call them the desert rats. They're not the desert rats.
Oh,
but
the
that's fine.
Attila
Talon.
Desert Raiders. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, they-
Talon. Yeah.
They were pretty cool.
Yeah, they were
All
cool.
metal. Of
Yeah.
Oh,
course.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But the Astra Militarum, it's annoying because the Astra Militarum has loads of really interesting, looking dudes. And the
Yeah,
only
they
ones
do.
you really get are Deathcore of Krieg. Good luck with that if you like Forge World and spending thousands. You've got the Cadian, which makes sense. That's the standard one. That makes sense.
That's like the benchmark, right?
Pretty much. And then you've got like the smallest selection of Catachan, and that's it.
And that's
Nothing else.
It, yeah.
Unless you go back in time, obviously. And
And
pick
it's
up the
sad,
older
really,
one.
because the background obviously still exists. All regiments are different. Obviously, they all derive from different worlds and different cultures and whatnot. So you can do what you like. It's one of those wonderful armies where you can take influence from pretty much anywhere you want. You can customize those guys to hell and back if you want to.
Yeah. I guess like maybe a fun army you could do with Astra Militarum, if you just didn't care, you could just do a Necromunda army. Just go Necromunda, get all the different Necromunda units and just kind of fiddle around with them.
Why not? I mean, it would work rather well, actually. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it's just we got rid of everybody from this hive city and we shoved them in the army, but we don't care about them. Whatever.
Yeah, but we don't care.
Yeah, just go and die. We don't care. Go away.
I mean, that's what you're for, isn't it? When you're in there,
Yeah,
you're dying for the good of humanity.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're there mostly to stop humans getting out of lines for the most part, and then when the aliens show up, you go, we have to hold the line until somebody else can come.
Yeah, normally Space Marines, right?
Yes, yeah, which is fine. Yeah.
And if there are no Space Marines in the vicinity, then sorry.
Ripperoonies. Ripperoonies.
Anybody seen anybody do a army using the Imperial breaches and all the different stuff from Kill Team yet?
Are they not just going to be shoved in Astra Militarum?
I'm sure they are. Yeah, I mean they're in the index, aren't they?
I'm sure they are. I'd have to.
They
check.
are in the index. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if anyone's actually done a full army of them yet.
In fact, the only kill team that's not in the index is the Jellipox, which is really weird. You'd think they'd be in the Death Guard, wouldn't you?
I know. I'm aware.
Very strange.
Really annoying.
Either in the Death Guard or in the Heretic Astartes one, because all the others are in there.
Maybe when they fix Death Guard to not be like at the bottom of the pile, they'll shove them in then as well.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's what they'll do with them.
Yeah.
I'd love to do like just a Gallippox army. I think that would look amazing.
You don't want to just do a Judge Dredd army, just the RBTs and just all Judge Dredd.
All of them, yeah.
Yeah, except for one, which is a big rabbit, which is the only thing I remember from the Sonic the Comics. I saw Judge Dredd and a big rabbit dude, and I have no idea what this is. This is weird.
I remember that very image, actually.
Yeah.
I never read the comic. I never read that particular issue of 2000 AD, but I do remember the big muscly dude in the rabbit costume. Yeah.
Oh, I just thought it was a rabbit person. Was it a dude in a costume?
I don't know. I have no idea, but it was very weird.
Yeah,
It's a proper Simon Bisley art.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that proper memory unlocked moment there.
Did I tickle a node inside of you, Gruff?
I think you've just reawoken that and I've forgotten how to speak.
They're Imperial agents, right? Okay, well, yeah, so they can be used in pretty much any like Imperial force.
Ah,
that's cool.
All right. Cool, yeah.
I mean, I like what they did with the Chaos ones. You know, they just chucked them all into the Heretic Astarte. So now you can have like the rogue Astra Militaria guys in a Chaos army. That's really cool. The Beast Men and whatnot. That's rocking. That is.
Are they better? Are they better to pick up as the boarding action box set that has all of those guys in and just a random assassin, or is it better to get the kill team versions of them?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because I'm going to be seeing my mate this week, and I want to like kill team wise. I wouldn't mind picking up Death Corps, obviously. I wouldn't mind picking up the Kasakins, which is it seems like that's not going to happen because they seem to be not easy to get because it's the only way to get Kasakins. So I want to get the Orcs one because they look really fun. And I wouldn't mind getting maybe one of those ones, like the Imperial, the other weird human kind of factions that look a bit on the strange side.
Yeah. No, that would be fun. I don't know, though. I don't know what the best way to pick them up is.
Apparently, the Navy boarding patrol is cheaper than buying the breaches separately. I imagine you don't get the rules and the cards and all that goo with them, though, right? That's probably what you're missing out on.
Probably it, yeah. Which, you know... But I managed to get my Leviathan box, by the way, guys. I'm very happy with that. I tell you, this is by far one of the best box sets they've done for a launch.
It's one of the most expensive, so you'd hope
Yeah,
so.
it is. But considering what you get, it's actually not that bad. I would have thought it would be way more expensive than it is because effectively you've got 2 full armies in here. You've got the book, you've got loads of stuff in here. It's a really impressive set. And it's very exciting. I'm telling you, I'm so looking forward to putting these guys together when I've got some time. The Tyranids, I'm going to Slaanesh up the Space Marines.
What are you going to make the flamethrower guys into for Slaanesh? What are you going to have them
I have
classed as?
plans. I have plans. They don't have to have the flamethrowers. I can just use the basics. I can turn them into possessed or something like that quite easily, with lots of horrible tentacly bits and whatnot. Reasonably easily. Looking forward to that very, very much.
Oh,
But no, it's a lovely set. It really is an amazing piece of work.
Did you judge by the limited edition 10th rule book?
No, because the book that I've got, the book came with Leviathan.
Yeah,
so...
but it was limited edition. It was really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was lovely, but no, I've already got the book, so it's like, no, it's fine.
me and Gruff talked about it, and we're like, that's really nice, and we saw how much it was.
Beautiful.
It was like 120, 150.
Yeah.
And it sold out in seconds.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad I didn't do it.
So it's a case of no, it's a bit much. I mean, it's beautiful.
So nice.
Absolutely lovely. And, I might fork out for some of the special edition codices when they come out. I'll definitely get Thousand Suns one, obviously. Probably the Heretic Astartes one as well.
I would only be tempted to get the limited edition codexes if they did more, like if they gave them a new cover, effectively.
Yes,
because I don't.
Once upon a time, they used to,
Yeah, because I don't like it where it's just, we'll give you the book, but we'll take off the big logo on the top. Like, that's it.
Yeah,
that's the limited edition of it. Oh no, thanks, I'm good.
The last really good limited edition army book they did was the Slaves to Darkness one, which came with the box set that had that wonderful sort of velvety cover. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is absolutely beautiful. That is.
Although I tell you now, I would scream every time I had to touch it. Ugh.
You don't like the texture?
I hate. Oh man, it feels like off peaches being thrown into your hands.
Slaanesh book made of polystyrene for you, Gruff.
What was actually? Do you remember when? Do you remember yonks ago when the Black Library published the Liber Chaotica books, and they did special editions for each of the Chaos Gods. Yep. So they did the Slaanesh one was bound in fake fur, wasn't it, or was, leather or something.
I've never seen them.
Yeah, those limited editions are worth a fortune.
I bet, because the standard ones are stupidly expensive on their own. Oh my God.
Those limited editions, they were worth a fortune way back when. Now they're impossible. They're just so difficult to get. What was the Zeech one? Didn't it have a mirrored surface or something?
Yeah, it was polished. It was
wow.
The Nurgle one was diseased flesh. It had boils all over it and stuff.
Proper
what was
nice,
it?
Touch.
What was it made of? Was it rubbery material?
Yeah.
I wonder how that's going to do over time. Will rubbery nature survive?
I have seen it and I have touched it, and it feels like it's that kind of rubber that's going to get a fungus over time, which is actually adds to value. I mean, that's right?
And the Corn book, of course, was just made entirely of blood. It was really weird. You opened it up and the thing
just splashed down your hand.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Actually, it was brass, wasn't it? It was metal.
Yeah.
It was metal. It had chains over it and all sorts. It was really cool. I mean, those sets are spectacular. I've got the individual books and the big collection that they did. That's worth a fortune now, the compiled one. But I never got any of the special editions, unfortunately.
Reprints. Come on.
Yeah, oh God, they would sell. Games Workshop, my God, would they sell? Because they are by far the best books about the nature of chaos, about the metaphysics of chaos that you will ever read. They go so deep. Yeah. They go so deep into how chaos works, like what it is and how it functions with regards to the material world. It's so cool. It's so cool. And there's wonderful in-universe stuff, because it's all written in universe. It's written by a guy called Richter Kleiss, who is he's a Templar from the old world who's given the dubious honor of compiling all the knowledge that the Sigmarite Church has about chaos. And as he's writing them, he's slowly going mad, Chaos is seeping into his soul and slowly driving him mad. And by the time you get to the Liber Chaotica Zeech, he's writing in ciphers. You actually have to learn the ciphers for some parts of the book to decode them. It's so cool. There are parts of the book that you have to hold a mirror up to get the full script. It's so cool.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, much like, Rogue Trader, and honestly, I think at this point in time they should really reprint Third Ed Old World as well for various things. This stuff needs to be at something like Warhammer Fest.
Definitely.
Like
definitely.
small runs where you've got 2,000 copies and they're only available at Warhammer Fest.
Like every Warhammer Fest or something, right? Because the problem is, like, if you make them too limited, then you have the scalper thing. You have them all, and do like you say, but have them always available at Warhammer World, like the Rogue Trader stuff is anyway.
Yes, like they did with like they did with the Realms of Chaos books and the Rogue Trader stuff. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, they could do it for they could do runs of anything they like the old codices. If they reprinted the second ed codices, they would sell. Just for the nostalgia value, they would sell.
Wouldn't it have been neat to tie into the videos that we get on Warhammer community, where it shows us, like, here's a new model, or the old model, and here's the newer version.
Yeah.
You could tie it into like that. That'd be quite fun.
Almost like as a promotional material. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Do either of you guys have a Warhammer Plus subscription?
No.
I used to, but no, not anymore.
Okay. So Warhammer Plus, part of what you get is a archive of material that you can go back into. And what they've done, and I think this is really quite smart, and this is the basis of this idea, is you can download PDFs, pardon me, of almost any book that they've put out now.
Oh, that's cool.
For 40k. But what they've done is they've taken the rules out.
Oh,
so it's just lore. So why not have a second ed omnibus, which is just all of those codexes in a single box, a single tome, but without any of the rules? It's just the background.
Lore. That's a good idea.
That would sell like nothing else.
That would be really cool, actually. That would be really cool, because the thing about those second ed codices is that was often where this stuff was first explored. That was where the armies really elaborated into what they would become. Like the Eldar Codex, that's where all of the lore regarding the Eldar was established, really. The Orcs are the same. The Chaos Codex, the legions were defined in that codex. Really, the only ones you had before were the likes of the Emperor's Children, the cult legions, effectively. So, yeah.
Well, it's a weird one, because Warg the Orcs built up so much stuff about the Orcs, and then that second ed codex compresses it right down.
Yeah.
And just goes, holy crap, we've come up with too much, and compresses it down. For example...
Makes it digestible, right?
Orcs were fungoid in Rogue Trader. It's one of those things that you always forget. They're never mentioned as being fungoid in second ed. Third ed, I think they came back with it.
I think it was third ed, wasn't it? It was sometime around the Gorka Morka era, wasn't it?
It was after Gorka Morka had finished.
Just after Gorka Morka, yeah.
So whatever ed that edition
that would have been late third, I think.
Yeah. So that's when that fungoid thing starts coming in. But yeah, they were fungoid in Rogue Trader. They were in Warg the Orcs. That's so hard to say, because you always just want to go Warg the Orcs.
Yeah. Because it is just the mispronouncing war, isn't it? That's the thing, right?
That's it. Yeah. Did I tell you guys about when I put the question on Twitter of it took me 6 years of playing 40k before I realised that it's just the Orcs saying war. What things do you guys did it take you guys too long to understand? And all the responses I got back were, oh my fucking Christ, I didn't realise it was them saying why. There's like 30 replies of people going, you've just blown my mind. It's like,
utterly brilliant.
No one's answering my question, and they're all just going, oh, what have you done? Oh no.
Brilliant.
Speaking of things that we've done, we have now spoken of the things that Andy has done. Andy has made some absolutely beautiful Imperial.
Oh, they're so good. They are brilliant. They look amazing. I tell you what, Andy, what we need to do at one point, we'll have to fight. We'll have to somehow get together and have a battle, right?
Oh, I'd like to.
Thousand Sons versus Astra Militaria.
You just want to kill all my boys.
Yeah.
Well, what I
Two
want
of
to
the better
do,
armies in 10th, apparently, as well.
what I think we should do is try and organise a day where people just hoard upon Newcastle and we rent out a hall somewhere and just have a load of tables and people play all day.
I think that'd be grand. I would
That'd be
love to
fun.
do that. A Fluffenhammer event, yeah?
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
And I think Newcastle's the perfect place to have it because A, Andy's there.
Yeah.
B, it's not that far from me. And C, the rest of you can travel for a change.
Yeah, no
Hooray!
worries.
I live basically on Hadrian's Wall. There's nothing. There's nothing. So, shall we get on to some news and stories and start beginning all of that kind of fun? Because
Yeah,
we've got
why not?
quite a lot to get through.
There's
this
a
evening.
lot of stuff going on. I mean, barring, all the gubbins about 10th, which is incredible. There's loads going on there.
Yep, yeah. I mean, this is the everything that came out of the not 40k preview. There is some 40k stuff I've got that's come out since the preview, but mostly I want to focus on the preview
Yeah.
this evening because oh my god, there's some things in here which have absolutely made my balls sing. They're- Woof.
Slaanesh once again.
Oh, absolutely. It is like somebody replaced my testicles with a pair of bells and someone's doing the 14th choir on them. It is, it's nice. It's real nice. So let's kick off then with the Cities of Sigmar because...
Well, my God. I mean, these guys, they are really pushing this, aren't they? This is huge, right? This is going to be really significant for AOS.
I have already planned out an army using the Cities of Sigmar. I'm absolutely blown away by them. If
They
you went
are
back,
incredible. I mean, we've said this so many times on this show because AOS is so good at doing this. It's like looking back at the artwork that used to be in the army books, but which the miniatures just could not achieve the same level of detail or character or way back when. Now they can. Now they have all of that wonderful oozing character about them.
well, there's so much going on here. There's fucking hell, where do I even begin? Right, okay, let's take this bit by bit here because there's stuff that we've already seen and there's stuff we haven't seen, and I think it's worth kind of seeing this as a whole. So, we've seen before that there is a general, the Free Guild Marshal, who has 3 ways of building. I am already looking at I can see ways of building 2 or 3 more types out of him just by looking at the way it is, how the optional assemblies go on, and you can see how you can do it where all the pieces fit. So the fact that you've got not only a lot of representation in a single model, you've also got so many options on the tabletop.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this guy before, how much I absolutely love him and his little mate who's just got Andy's head on a stick.
Oh,
It's,
he's a reliquary boy. Yeah, I love that. I love it. I think it's so cool.
I'm tempted to paint that guy up to look like Mikey and then have Mikey just carrying Andy on a stick.
Do you think the head talks to him?
I hope so.
This being AOS, it's the odds are on, aren't they? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not the head; it's the skull that's on the very top that talks to him. Right. Yeah. So you've got all that. Then you've got this new guy that's just appeared. Oh my God! The Alchemite Warforger.
Whoa! Look at him. He's incredible, isn't he?
The texturing that they've got on that goddamn apron
Yeah.
blows my mind.
I love all
Is
the
that
symbols he's
texturing
got.
or is that painting?
That's texturing. Because if you look at where the shadows fall, you can kind of see if it's. I mean, obviously these are the top-notch best painters in the world.
Yeah.
But I think that's actually texturing.
I don't know. I think they're very good paint. The letters on the bottom and the tatter, certainly. I
Yeah.
don't know if the little lines everywhere are or aren't. I think that they're painted on myself, but it still looks good. It reminds me a lot of it's Scrag from the what do you call them? The ogre kingdoms. He carried around a big pot behind him, and he had two big meat hooks. He reminds me a bit of him, just because he's wearing like a big old apron and carrying around a little pot with
and
him.
carrying around a big old pot, right?
Yeah, he's like the human equivalent. He's also holding a six-sided dice, which is on fire, so clearly really doesn't get any good rolls.
But if you look at it, you can see that the 1 is the number that's burning the most. So you can tell how much
The
he
one again.
hits.
Fuck.
Critical fail.
I really hope that one of his abilities is just to pour that lead over somebody's feet.
I look forward to people changing the contents of that bucket to like a cake or just like a happy soup.
It's so going to happen, isn't it? I mean,
hope so.
This being the fandom, yes, it is going to happen.
Turn him into a baker, chop his head off, give him a very happy, jolly face with a baker's hat.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, I mean, there's also going to be lots of Chaos players who want this guy because he's not a million miles off, right? You could do a lot with this guy.
He'd easily fit into the Blades of Corn, surely.
Yeah,
easily.
Absolutely, easily. As one of the, I can't remember what they're called, but they're Forge Master guys. Yeah, absolutely.
See, I'm seeing Nine Golan.
Yes.
Yeah, that can work.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, just
Yeah, he's brilliant. I mean,
look inside that pot.
The character that's going on here is just wonderful.
Big Swinging D says that the head on a stick actually gives tactical advice.
Oh, he does talk to him then.
It's
Nice.
something that's actually been said. Yeah,
Nice.
Oh, I love it. So it's I'd assume it's the head of like a Sigmarite saint, right? That's what it's supposed to be.
Don't charge the giant. Don't charge Archaon. Are you
Yes,
sure? I really
yes.
want to. Don't charge him.
Yeah, don't do
it.
that. Don't do that.
There's
But my master's charging him. Yeah, don't do it.
No.
yeah. You just let him die. Just let him die. You'll
It's
get your
fine.
master.
Yeah.
What I quite like here is that the Alchemite Warforger. Right, that is a name that I want to start a band with that name.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
We're
It is.
Alchemite Warforger. Yeah, one of the cool things here is that they are wizard smiths from the Gold College of Shaman.
So they're wizards.
College.
They're wizards,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Well, Balthazar's really let himself go over the years, hasn't he?
Right. And now that you mention it, the helmet is derived from Balthazar,
from
isn't
Balthazar.
it? Of course it
Absolutely it
is.
is.
Yeah, of course it is. Oh,
very
that
cool.
is so cool.
How awesome is that?
Yeah. Isn't this exactly what you were talking about ages ago, Adam, where you were saying, like, of the human armies in AOS, you want to see more that's specific to the realms, that's derived. This is it, right? This is
Oh, absolutely.
so cool. So he's a forged sorcerer. He's a wizard. That is really cool.
And of course, from Shaman, so the high levels of magic and metal.
Yes.
Which, by the way, is going to be the first album by Alchemite Warforger. So, yeah, you get so much story in just this single mini. And
It's
oh
brilliant.
my God.
And this suggests what's to come, right? I'd assume that either with the release or later on, there will be wizards and characters from all of the other realms as well.
Well, I've got a theory here. Do you remember many, many, many years ago that Warhammer Fantasy Battle had a little wizards moment? And
I
they
do remember that, yeah.
And they went hell for leather to get as much wizard stuff out as they could. I mean, there were a lot of wizards. In fact, there were so many wizards, they started giving away one of 7 different wizards on the front of White Dwarf.
On the front of White Dwarf, that's
Really?
right. Yeah, it was an
There's
add-on.
so many stupid laws. So I'm not surprised there are loads of
Yeah, it was an add-on for Fantasy Battle, wasn't it? It was a
yeah.
whole campaign, and it had not only wizards, but like these magical effects, like vortices and things that were a bit like endless spells are now.
What edition did you say this was? Sorry.
Oh,
That
this
would have been Bretonians versus Lizardmen. So
yeah.
Oh, so
fifth.
early.
It would have been 5th. Yeah. Oh, was
Right.
it? Was it in 5th, Adam?
it will have been, yep, because
Yeah?
I can
Wow.
tell you it's in 5th because I bought every single copy of White Dwarf
To get the wizards.
to get the full set of wizards. Now, you may say that's a bit ridiculous. Allow me to tell you what I used to do with Essential X-Men. Do you guys remember the Essential X-Men comic that used to come out?
Yes.
Right?
Vaguely.
Yeah,
it was alongside the Astonishing Spider-Man, wasn't it? It was
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
slightly cardboardy covered one, yeah?
Do you remember how every issue they'd always have a free set of cards on the front?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah. I would spend so much money each month to get those cards because it was cheaper doing that than it was to try and import the cards from America.
Yeah, it would have been back then, definitely. And just
ended up with
easier, right? This is
full
pre-internet,
set.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
had a full set of Fleer Marvel 97 cards,
Wow.
which I think I then sold for 300 quid in
Oh,
about
goddamn.
2010.
Yeah.
2000, well, maybe a bit earlier. But anyhow, Sigilars. So we've got the free Guild Steel Helm, so we get a real look at the Ankh-Morpork City Watch. I
Yeah.
mean, the free Guild Steel Helms. Somebody tell me that I'm not alone here, that this is not what you imagine Commander Vimes and the City
Right.
Watch to wear.
There is a definite Discworld-esque thing going on here, isn't there? There's like a...
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's like the shapes of the armor, the proportions. It all looks a bit like strapped together, doesn't it, from bits and pieces, which I love. I think it's brilliant.
I can tell you exactly what it is. It's medieval armor done to Victorian fashion. That's where that crossover's coming from, because that's what Paul Kidby always drew the City Watch looking like. So whilst the armor isn't it's not a one-to-one by any stretch of the imagination. This is not the armor that Paul Kidby drew the City Watch in, but it's got the same design aesthetic at its core, and it's bloody smart. Is what it is.
It's really good, isn't it? It works somehow. There's something about it just goes right.
It looks like nothing else that's out there.
Yeah.
It's so head and tails beyond anything else that's out there. It's absolutely incredible. I'm amazed. We've spoken before about how much these guys now need to be the poster boys for Age of Sigmar. And if you went back to the birth of this system and said, well, Adam, you're going to be championing for just guys to be the poster boys rather than the Stormcast, I would have said, what a Stormcast.
They're just men.
They're just guys, yeah, and that's always
men.
It's always been difficult, hasn't it, in the fantasy battle system? It's always been a tricky sell, to be honest, because you've got they are just guys, they're just people, right? And arrayed against them, you've got lizard men and orcs and beast men and all of these interesting things. To make them this interesting, to give them this amount of character, is a subtle work of genius. It's really, really clever.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's so many things here that I want to talk about the design aesthetic, and I know that I can't because we'll be here all day.
Yeah.
But I'm going to hit two things. One, the shields. Those shields are incredible bits of work. So the armor at the top, right, that is for deflecting anything trying to come over the top of a shield. So the idea of the shields like that is that you would stand with the shield and you would push the shield up to get the weapons coming at you whilst you got them with the other weapon, the weapon you got in your hand. When's the last time you saw a shield like that wasn't a wooden shield or a metal shield, but a combination of both done ornately?
Graveguard, the old Graveguard set. That's it.
That was
and
a while back.
Yeah, and those guys look pretty rough by today's standards.
They do.
They do these days.
But that's the only other time I can see like a mix of shield design.
Yep.
Of material.
So you think about that Graveguard kit from all those years back, right? Now you obviously they're missing bits and they're all dead and skelly boned and whatnot. But tell me that hasn't been the basis for the armor that we're now seeing in front of us, because it's got such, not so much the old stuff, but more the newer stuff that came out for Curse City. But that armor is so built around, what the Graveguard could have been if they'd been alive and modern. It blows my mind. The other thing, of course, being the helmets. I absolutely love these kettlebell helmets.
Yeah, the sort of almost chamber pot helmets. Yeah, they look so good, right?
And there's a guy here, and he's not wearing any armor. He just looks like a little friar tuck guy with a stick. And it looks like he's got a broken sword inside
some sort of relic, presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, I kind of want to know more about him. I just want to know his story. Why
he's the butcher, isn't he?
Yeah, right.
That's for
or the landlord, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the orcs owe money for rent. Come here, orc.
The innkeeper.
If I won't have your money, I'll have your mum. We don't have one for orcs, so we'll have a say about that. So come here. Gives us some.
Moving on. swiftly.
This is where it's at, right?
All right,
the
the
mounted
Cavaliers.
guys. Whoa!
What happened to Bretonia? They got better.
These horses astonish me.
They are so good. They are so good.
I'm excited about horse miniatures.
Yeah.
Just sit with that for a second. One of the things that always bothered me about Fantasy Battle was that, but they're just horses, aren't they?
They're just horses in there. Yeah. Unless you get the Chaos horses, then they're interesting,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, they're not even unicorns or pegasi yet. They're really rare. They're just horses.
Just horses.
Yeah, just shit farmers riding horses.
It's hard to, it's hard to get excited about them when you've got, like, say, the Slanesh cavalry riding demon mounts and stuff like that, right?
Absolutely. But then you look at these guys,
They're
these
awesome.
horses. They're terrifying.
They are awesome. I mean, every single miniature here that's displayed has the detail and the character of a character miniature, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely they do.
Every single one of them. Each one looks like an individual hero, like a knight that's made a name for himself, right?
If this is what we're going to start seeing as being the skirmish miniatures for AOS going forward, this system is it shits on 40k. I'm sorry. It does. Everything has character, everything has movement, everything has flow, but everything has a inbuilt story in the miniature. It's fucking brilliant.
Don't forget about the snail.
Personally, I particularly like the guy with the antlers. I think he's ace.
What were you saying there, Andy?
Don't forget about the snail.
I'm not going to forget about the snail.
Still there.
Yep, that snail's just on the guy's horse. Just
Yeah,
God,
still
help me. I've been dragged along. Didn't want to go to war. Come with me, war snail.
Yes,
No, he's
it's a
being
war
kicked.
snail now.
The horse is kicking him like a football. Most deadly attack is a one-shot kill.
That's why that snail's got a horn on it, isn't it?
Yep.
It's a-
Oh, wouldn't it be ace if that is actually an attack on the profile? Wouldn't that be ace? It's a long-range attack.
Have I told you guys my plan for it's a Sigmar?
Didn't you say you wanted to do a Shaishian one?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Ulfric Khan.
Ah, that's it, yeah.
It's the last city of the White Wolf. And just really go hell to leather on making these guys look like the remnants of the priests of Ulrich and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a lovely idea.
I think, because honestly, I don't know what it is, but these guys being done in like Shaishian colours were just num, 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 num. Just lots of purples.
Purples, very pale, pallid. Yeah.
You could even use like Radigar and vampire him up.
Yeah.
And get him to be your general for them.
In fact, most of the vampire miniatures you could have a go at with that, couldn't you? It would work. You could do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Make them nobles, like Shaishian nobles of some description.
Yeah. It's
Leave it ambiguous as to whether they actually are still vampires or not.
Well, I mean, one of the things I was considering the idea of is just like dotting some vampires in there, but like the wolf vampires, because then it ties into the Ulrich theme.
Yeah, of course.
I think that'd be quite good. Where it's I don't know, there might be werewolves. Who knows?
Who knows, right?
Who knows? The shadow knows. And of course, there's loads of other bits and bobs as well. There's nothing really much to talk about.
We still haven't seen any like artwork for them, have we? Because that's what I'm interested to see. I want to see like the artwork to hopefully flesh out more stuff.
Yeah, and we've seen like symbols and icons and signography and all that type of thing, but that's about it.
Yeah, I want the proper art. Give it to me. Nom, 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 nom.
But yeah, I mean, there is this other thing as well, and that other thing being the best fucking manticore that we've ever seen.
Yeah. And Games Workshop have a bit of a pedigree when it comes to manticores. There's been a lot of them. There's been an awful amount. I mean, there were like just very, very, very early on, there were just manticores. You could just buy them as part of like any fantasy army way back when. Then there was Dieter Helschnick on his manticore.
Yeah, that's the best. That might still be the best manticore ever. I mean,
the cute manticore.
It's so adorable.
It's a very adorable. It's almost like a stuffed manticore, isn't it? It's a plushy manticore.
I want to tickle its tummy so badly.
There's the Chaos Manticores, of course.
Yep. Yep.
which still exist. They're looking a bit old now. They've been around for a while. They've been around since
Yeah.
Fantasy Battle. They have.
Seventh Ed Fantasy Battle, I think.
Yeah, it was late on for them, but even so, they are looking a little bit, especially in comparison to this.
Yeah.
This is going to be such an
is-
anus to paint.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
say it now.
but
It's going to be a
100% is.
right anus.
But my God, is it pretty? I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus, this
How-
is, as the big centerpiece models go, this is something else. This is amazing.
I think if you want as well, depending on future rules, you should be able to cut the dude off, throw him in the bin, and slap on, I don't know, a Chaos dude or an Orc or something, as long as the rules apply. Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, for a Slaves to Darkness army, you can get either a Chaos Sorcerer or a Chaos Lord on Manticore. So,
Yeah,
why
there you
not,
go.
know?
Done.
Ain't
So-
that hard. It already looks pretty monstrous, so
Just slap some boobs on it. It's Slaneshian.
it's a Slanesh Manticore.
Yeah.
Oh,
That lion head, wow, wow! The sculpt on that is. I can see like Corn players cutting that off and using it as like the head of a bloodthirster or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Beastmen too. Right?
Beastman, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how would a Beastman Lord riding that thing would look incredible.
yeah, it would right.
Having a Seagull with that on for a head instead would be really
Yeah.
cool as well.
Oh, yeah.
I say Seagull because I assume it's big enough to be that. It couldn't be like
think
a
it's-
Gorble or anything.
No, it would have to
Whatever
be.
it's called
I'm assuming this is going to be a big kit.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the size of the last that's just there pointing a sword at me in a threatening manner. I mean, one of the things I was actually considering was getting Rutger on that and having that as my general. I think that would look absolutely incredible, having this big fat guy riding the Manticore. But, oh, Jesus. I mean, what is it with all the heads? Why do they carry so many heads around with them? This has got to be a story point. This has got to
Well,
be a plot
yeah. I
point.
mean, it's that old thing. It's that old influence from sort of like old Catholic mythology, isn't it? They're relics, right?
Yeah.
They're old saints, aren't they? They're Sigmarite saints, yeah.
Well, if the kids one talks to him, this is going to be like a cacophony of people
I
just
was gonna
screaming into his
say,
ear.
yeah.
No, to
Do
the
they
left, to the
argue?
right.
Yeah, do they
No,
argue?
not that
Do you
way.
think?
No,
What's she doing? She ain't listening.
You're not going to hit him with that axe. You're on a bloody Manticore. What are you doing?
what
You
she
don't
does
have
is
the
she-
reach.
She only takes the heads of people who were scared of heights and stuffs them in there, so
they
they
just
just
scream.
screaming. Oh God!
Actually, considering they're mounted in the back of her throne, that can't be terribly hygienic. I imagine it smells pretty bad up there.
Yeah. Well. How good does the Manticore smell?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Actually,
Maybe the
Probably
dead
not very.
heads cover up the smell of the Manticore.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Oh, thank God for these heads. Oof.
It's part bird, part lion, part scorpion, so pretty bad. It's
You'd
going to
think.
smell pretty damn bad, isn't it?
You're not going to get out there to wash it frequently, I
No.
imagine.
No.
I wonder which bit smells the worst. I'm going to say the bird. The bird.
The
smells
bird,
Yeah.
probably.
The
Yeah.
scorpion will smell the best.
Yeah. Because it didn't have any fur, so yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't
But it is the arse end of it.
True.
So
Yeah. That's the thing about Warhammer Fantasy Sculptors. They don't think enough about shitting.
They
It's,
don't think enough about smell, do they? That's the thing.
true.
Unless
Yeah,
they're
the
sculpting Nurgle miniatures, then they think about it a lot.
The last time we really got a shitting miniature was Ultramarine leader dude.
Oh, Pelgar.
Oh,
Yeah.
the old
Calgar.
Bardius Calgar
Yeah.
that's on a toilet, yeah.
Yeah, sitting on a toilet having a poop. I remember
Oh,
seeing
you
the
think-
custom when they just put him on an actual toilet. And it was great.
Yeah.
It was a great custom.
Oh, dear.
Right. There's a load of stuff about Talia here. So
Oh, she's ace, right. She's absolutely brilliant. As a character, she sounds interesting too. Former mercenary converted to the worship of Sigmar. Doesn't take
Yeah.
any shit, apparently. She's not interested in all the politics of it or anything like that.
I like the fact that she has a collection of weapons. The Parch Tongue, taken from the Archmage Xanta for Laura.
They're all
The
from Chaos
just-
Champions, aren't they? They're all from like Chaos Champions from different gods.
Yeah, the Great Axe Justice, wrestled from the so-called Bloody Duke, the Heavy Mace Warmaker, claimed from the corrupt treasurer Vanalis, the Hammer of Zeal, a trophy of the ex-Pontifex of the cults Unberogan. Now that's
That's interesting. So
Yeah.
a heretical Sigmarite cult, presumably.
I'm going to guess so. Or
Sounds
somebody
like
who-
a book right there, or a novel.
Doesn't
I'm,
it?
I'm hoping she gets a book. I really am. 'Cause
I'd
I'm
be
sure
surprised
she
if they
will.
don't.
I would
Yeah.
be massively surprised if there's not a book out with her miniature.
Well, I would say
coincide with
that.
it, to coincide
And then,
with it,
the only thing that would maybe go, maybe they wouldn't is it's AOS.
Actually, yes, that's a fair point. It is, yeah.
They should.
I'm
But given that she's
really
new
hoping.
as well, they could do with fleshing her out, right? She's a new
They need
character.
to. Yeah.
I'm really hoping that this is the bell being rang
No.
now that
Don't.
AOS is going to get some. big buff.
Don't have hope. Come on. Just be like, this is
No.
nice. Just take it as this is nice, and if anything else happens, ooh,
Yeah, it's a bonus, right?
yeah, just I'll enjoy this as it is.
There's an interesting thing here, which I want to bring up as well. So there's actually a point that says, in full Akshuian tradition, their mummified heads also adorn her riding seat. Is this something that we've known? Has actually
don't know.
been known for mummifying heads?
Ah,
Because I don't recognize it.
I reckon out of all of us, you've probably read the most of AOS. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
of the books and everything. So
And I've
if
never
you haven't
come-
heard of it,
No. So this must be a new thing that's
this
happening
is
in
a Dawnbringer
guess-
thing, yeah.
I guess to be fair, like we haven't really heard of the cities of Sigmar at all. Only really in passing.
Yeah,
in
that's
most
right.
things. So yeah, this has to be new, I guess. Just fine, good. We're getting some expansion.
Yeah, I mean, it's
is what we
fascinating. Isn't it?
need.
It makes me want to pick up the book. I want to know about this stuff.
Absolutely. And you get at the very, very least, I will be getting this book.
Yeah. Oh my
but
god.
al-
Yeah.
But also, it's such a weird thing. I want a human army.
Yeah. It's
I-
bizarre, right?
Yeah, I just want it. They're so good.
They just
can't-
needed to do a steam tank reveal. That's what they were missing from this
Yeah.
reveal. Or a steam tank like substitute, whatever they want.
Something. Yeah. Something
Yeah.
like Steam Tank.
Well-
And I'm sure there's going to be something. There's going to be some war engine at least.
Yeah, there has to be.
Yeah. I mean, my guess is that we'll see the Iron Weld further down the line. That this is the Dawnbringer Crusade rank and file, so this is what we're going to get.
Yeah.
And we know there's a little box set that's going to be coming out at some point, which will be the Dawnbringer Crusade going out to bring Dawn on their
Yeah,
crusade.
they basically showed the promotion, didn't they? It will be
Yeah.
2 sets of the infantry, the general dude with the lad, the cake maker, and then 1 set of horses.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember what he was called, so he's the cake maker now.
yeah. So my guess would
That's
be
a decent
that-
box. That's a decent combat
Yeah, it's
patrol,
not
I'd say.
bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like that. So my guess would be that we'll see Iron Weld down the line when the full book comes out. Because I think this will be released by itself. It'll be like the Lumineth, where the box will come out and there'll be a book in the box with it gets you by, and then 6 months later we'll get an actual book.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
they did it. They did it with Chaos. They did it with the Imperial
Yeah.
Guard. It sells well. It forces people to kind of rush out and buy them, kind of
Yeah.
FOMO thing. So yeah, they'll do it.
Yeah, of course. That would be my guess.
Yeah, so
Business.
I'm happy with that because I don't have FOMO, so it's all good. Don't bother me none. Right, moving on then. Let's move into the Horus Heresy.
Oh my
dum,
god!
dum.
Wow. Yeah.
Mighty
this
War
is,
Machines.
Yeah. This is all very exciting, right?
Well, this one's all right. It's a big Titan. It's,
The Titan guys,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Cerastus and the Acheron
yeah. I
and
mean,
the Castigators.
do you want to know a thought I had when I saw these guys? And that was, I want to get that kit, and I want to mix it with a Vermin Lord to make a Clan Skiri
Ooh,
cyber steampunk.
a cyber vermin lord. Wow.
Yeah, like a steampunk Vermin
That's a
Lord.
cool idea.
That's very Doom of you, Mr. Gruff.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
So that might be a thing that happens. I mean, they're nice. They're really, really nice. I think they look really, really good. They're
I like the way they've tried to make them look like the antecedents of the knights that exist today.
Yeah.
There's something really cool about that. They actually do look like slightly more archaic versions of the knights that exist now.
I like the fact that they've got really weird legs.
Yeah, I can never say
Chicken
the word.
legs.
Yeah, it's digidegrade or something like that. I could never pronounce the word.
Digitigrade. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
And
I like that.
Yep. And I really like it as well. It's what made me start thinking about getting one of these and just making a giant vermin lord out of them.
Are they going to be usable by the knights, like in standard 40k, or is it only?
I think it's only
Horus
Horus
Heresy.
Heresy because like the knights have moved on. They've evolved a little bit since these days, or de-evolved, depending on how you look at things.
Yeah, so,
That's a
side
shame.
evolved.
You don't think they'll get some side rules to just
Oh, they
get them
might.
in?
They might do that. You know, if they're
'Cause
the right
I think it'd be a
scale
shame not to.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a shame not to have them there because nice fancy model and all that.
They are
jazz, you know.
nice. I mean, they are
Yeah.
really lovely. I'd love to Chaos one up.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
I mean, I do believe the Castigator one was originally many moons ago. The Castigator was a Slanesh knight back in the old days of Epic.
you are correct.
Yeah, I thought so. It was from that old household of knights, wasn't it, that fell to Slanesh during the latter days of the Horus Heresy.
Big Swinging D says that they are in the Knights Index.
Oh, well, there you go.
Indeed? Oh my
Okay.
god, that's amazing.
Good.
That's very cool.
That's so cool. I'm quite pleased about that. Not in the Chaos Knights Index, though, presumably. That's sad.
Just
Maybe later.
yeah, just be a bit imaginative and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. But yeah, I mean they are really cool. I think they are lovely big knights, and we all like the knights, don't we?
I like how lanky they are in comparison to
Yeah.
like the knights of today. The knights, the present day 40k knights are quite squat in comparison to these guys.
They are in the Chaos Knights Index as well.
Are they indeed? Oh my god, I'm going to have to go and have a look
There
at
you
this.
go.
I am.
Thank you, Big Swinging D.
Because that's cool. I like that.
Right, moving on then. Let's get to something that both excites and upsets me.
Oh dear.
Got some new Skaven miniatures, guys.
Oh, the new Skaven knight. I like these guys.
Aren't they absolutely superb?
Aren't they amazing? Clan Molder, right? I mean,
Yeah.
one of my favorites personally. I like these guys a lot.
I do
Clan
have-
Pestilence, rather.
Yeah, Clan Pestilence. I do have a little thing I want to point out, though. You know the big, the monk himself, who's got his little friend, the rat. Anyone else notice the hairs sticking out of the brush?
Yeah, what is going on there?
I think that's just really bad. Someone's missed that in a Photoshop.
I think they have, haven't they? You know, when I was looking at it earlier, I was like trying to get them off my screen. I thought it was one of my cat's hairs.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit of white that hasn't been fully taken out. But
Yeah.
I first saw it and thought, is that brush hair?
I was going to say, what's going on there?
But no, these guys are
They're awesome. right?
absolutely, they're lovely.
I can see why it makes you sad, Adam, because like this is what you want, right? From the Skaven line, this is what you want. This is what they should look like, yeah.
Well, it's the thing
These
I've been saying
guys
for
are amazing.
absolutely.
They're amazing.
You look at the guys, the Skaven that you've had for Underworlds and Warcry, they look incredible. You look at the Skaven you've got for Blood Bowl, they look incredible. Then you look at the rank and file miniatures. And that is the problem with the Skaven now, that what you need is a load of rank and file miniatures, and because they're rank and file, they are awful on a skirmish base. They just look so bad.
So soulless, right? Because they're designed to be in ranks, right? They're designed to be all the same, yeah?
Yeah, it's the same with the Moon Clan, the goblins, because they are the same miniature again and again and again and again.
And how old are those plague monk sensor bearers from the that we've got now? They are they're one of the earliest plastic regiment kits, aren't they? They're really early.
Yeah.
So,
do you know what outdates them? Do you know what outdates them?
Warp spiders?
No,
not warp spiders.
as in
not
plastic
warp
kits.
spiders.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Yeah, these are
kit.
plastic because, like, the warp spiders were lead. They were originally cast in lead. That's how ancient they are.
Yeah, the Chaos Knights. The Chaos Warriors outdate them.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
God.
literally it.
You know what you should do, Gruff? You should start making plague monks, like kit bashing your own. Because once you've done that, painted them, and got them all done,
yes,
the whole new line will come out for them.
That's it. That's the trick.
Yeah.
The slight
Game
problem.
the system.
I don't want Clan Pestilence. I
Oh,
like
which
Clan
one do you want?
Skiri and I like Clan Moulder.
Well, all right, do those. I don't care. And then we'll get new ones, and then you'll be annoyed,
yeah.
and you'll be happy at the same time.
I've just realised as well that the main plague monk's tail is glowing.
Oh, Skabic.
So
I love his
yeah.
name, Skabic. I
Skabic.
think it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Skabic.
I love his
Yeah.
teeth. I love the teeth at the front. He looks so cool. There's so much character in his face. His
God,
face
yeah.
sculpt is awesome.
I like how he has Buddhist monk beads
Mhm.
hanging from his wrist.
Actually, what is that? He's got
I can answer that question.
Are they actually a thing, Adam?
Yes, they steal
Oh,
them.
wow.
Oh, that's fun.
They steal them from blind monks. Right?
So petty.
It's amazing. So one of the things they have to do in their training is they have to steal things from these blind monks, who are usually not blind and usually not monks. So,
Right.
But they have to like run up and steal anything, whether it be the begging bowl, whether it be the beads, or whether it be like food or something. But that's one of the things they have to do in training.
That's
and then
brilliant.
And they get chased by these usually not blind, not monks, who are usually very proficient at dealing out violence.
Fantastic. A bit more difficult for these guys from Clan Pestilence as well, because A, they tend to be very diseased, so they don't move very fast, and B, they smell bad, so they're going to smell them coming either way, aren't they? You know?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a... Oh my god, I like Fatty, who's got the big sensor bearer. And
he's great.
And he's got all the bandages wrapped around
Yeah, love him. I think he may be my favourite, actually, of all of them.
Fatty Rat is my favourite. I love him with his little bell around his neck, so everyone knows where he's coming from. And he's got the weird eye guard as well, which
Yeah.
yeah.
I love these guys. I mean, as the Skaven miniatures go, I think these are some of the best. I mean, I've got a thing for Clan Pestilence anyway. I love Clan Pestilence. And these guys are... I love them. Love them to bits. In fact, no, my favourite one is the slightly sorcerer-looking guy who's got, like, the hood over his eyes. I don't know. There's something about that aesthetic that I love, with the hood over the eyes and the snout protruding. I think that looks great.
It just makes the pink snout really stand out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
I love the fact he's got these like Skaven scrolls just nailed to a stick. It's like, but the guy above him with the two knives, he looks so happy that he has two knives. It's like,
well, the whole thing with Clan Pestilence is that they're mad, isn't it? They are like they're driven mad by all the diseases they've got and whatnot, and they are quite happy because there is an almost like they have a massive crossover with Nurgle, don't they? These guys.
Oh yeah, big time. It's one of those weird things where you can kind of see how each Skaven clan fits in with one of the existing
Chaos powers, right?
I mean, not so much nowadays, but that's something you could see way back when. It's like these guys are the only ones who've really stuck with it. It's like they
definitely. Well, it's even in the lore, isn't it? Because like in the Maggotkin book, it points out that the Clan Pestilence vermin lords are actually the rats from Nurgle's Manse, right?
Yeah,
that infest Nurgle's Manse. How fucking cool is that? I mean, it's only a throwaway line. It's just one throwaway line, but I think that is just great lore. I love that shit. I think that is awesome.
It just ties everything together so nicely.
Yeah, I love it. I love it to bits. So they actually live in Nurgle's garden, you know. They're actually I love that. I love it.
Well, that's the thing about vermin lords. They gnaw through reality, so they can be
of
anywhere.
Of course, they can be in like they would be, wouldn't they? It makes a lot of sense.
There's one of them that hides out in Khorne's realm, and basically he does everything in his power to stay out of the way, and then just kind of reaches out and nicks souls every now and again.
You would want to stay out of the way of all the chaos powers. The one you'd want to stay out of the way of is Khorne, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. Have you read all the names, by the way, for these guys?
No. Are they good? Where are we?
So we've got Skabic Plagueseeker.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Rabidius
Skench. That's awesome. Itchit. Poxlix and Ricket.
And Skritter the Rat.
Skritter the Rat. Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh man, I do. God, I hope that this is like.
Itchit is my favourite of the names. I like Itchit. I think that's great.
Oh, no, I like Rabididus Skench. That's
Rubidius is awesome. Rubidius Skench.
yeah. That's I can hear him talking. Rabididus, yes.
No, they're great. It's a lovely set, this one.
It is. It really is, and I'm tempted by it. Like I really am. Just to have a good Skaven.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're gonna
right.
you
I
have
mean,
to
so-
wait like a year so you can get it a little bit cheaper, and then not
Yeah.
have to get the cards.
I kind of wish it was in Warcry and not Underworlds. 'Cause,
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh well.
yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, but I love them. I love them, and they make me sad all at the same time.
All at the same time.
Right, moving on then. Let's go right the way back to the old world.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? I mean, like, there's a real nostalgia hit going on here, but I can't help but compare him to the mounted guys we've seen from the Cities of Sigmar. I can't help it, and in that, it's sort of like, well, it's
Yeah.
fine, isn't it? It's fine.
It's a weird one where even though you can tell that it is modern day sculpting techniques,
It does look sincerely like a miniature that could have been released like back in the day, right?
and I think
That's
that's on
kinda-
purpose.
Yeah, that's what I like
it's
about it.
deliberate. Yeah, absolutely. It's deliberate. It is a deliberate aesthetic, and it's for me, it's an aesthetic thing that I just don't like. It doesn't do anything for me. I just find it dull.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there isn't a huge amount of information to go with it. He is a
Of
Bretonian.
course not. It's
he-
the old world. They're still not telling us anything about
Not
it.
a
Really,
damn thing, right?
Ridiculous.
Not a damn thing. It's just like, here's one of the miniatures for it.
another
Yes.
one.
So we've now seen 3 miniatures for this new game.
Yeah.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, it's fine. It's a really good, it's a really solid sculpt. It looks great.
Yeah.
It's a really solid thing. It's just not my cup of tea.
No, and I think until it's the problem where you're going to get a lot of Bretonians, you're going to get a lot of the undead of
Tomb Kings.
The old
sorry.
Tomb Kings.
My brain would not give me that there, and all I had was literally all I had was Nekaratatata. That's not right. I think that's a Pokemon. And yeah, it's one of those weird things. But yeah, absolutely, this looks nice. So the colours and heraldry of Duke Gastel, the Red Hand of Brion, which is nice. Brion, of course, being the birthplace of Guinevere Dupont. So there we go. There's a
Cool.
bit of information for you. Moving on, we're back into skirmish with Warcry, and we have Killboys, Krulboys, sorry. There's a lot here I like. Unfortunately, it's not the Krulboys themselves.
Oh no! Is it the baboon
Monkey.
things?
Monkey.
Monkey.
I love Monkey. I'm just going to put this out there to start with. These are not bad in any way, shape, or form.
No,
they
they're
are
pretty cool.
really, really good.
Probably
They-
the best Cruel Boys.
Agreed, completely.
Yeah.
Still doesn't work for me. I don't like the Krulboys.
No.
It's not your thing, is it, Adam? They're
No.
not your aesthetic for the. I mean, I quite like these guys personally. They've clearly looked at lots of different aesthetics for the orcs, right? I mean, a lot of these guys look like Lord of the Rings orcs. A lot of
That's-
them, don't they?
That's exactly why I don't like them.
Yeah.
In all honesty,
It's not your aesthetic for the orcs, yeah.
no, I like big, ridiculous, slightly cartoony. Honestly, if
These
these
have got a
guys,
bit of a grimdark thing going on, don't they?
there's two issues I've got with the design of them. One, they're not hunched.
Yeah.
Warhammer
They're
orcs are
upright,
always
yeah.
hunched. Yeah. So as a result, it gives them this very big head, small shoulders look, which doesn't work for me. As I say, this is entirely opinion. It's nothing against the sculpts are out like that. And the other thing is the features are really small, which works for what they're trying to do. They're cruel boys. They're not Iron Jaws. They're not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're different sort of species of orcs. It's unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not big and over the top. They are very like creepy is probably the better term. If they had been released as Cruel Boys, not Oryx, just as the Cruel Boys, and painted in, I don't know, a fleshy color or like a dark, maybe a like a darker obsidian-y type color or something. Yeah, basically something that made them into their own thing and not Oryx. I probably wouldn't mind them as much because there's a lot of the Ian Miller that's in their weapons
Definitely,
and in their armor and stuff. But because they're orcs, it doesn't work for me.
It doesn't work
really
for you,
doesn't.
yeah.
But the
There is
baboons
a
are
problem
ace.
in the sense that they don't fit into the rest of the range, isn't there? They look like if you put them in an army, they would stand out.
No, I
Yeah.
think they'd still work in the Cruel Boys army.
Cruel Boys, they'd probably be okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
baboons-
monkeys wouldn't. They'd still look a
No,
bit
the
weird,
monkeys
though.
are a bit weird.
Ah, those monkeys are ace.
No,
Well,
no,
they
no.
are
They're weird in the fact that they wouldn't work with the rest of the army.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I
they're
mean.
good. I mean, they're great
Yeah.
sculpts.
Mr. White has just said in the chat, any crossover between Warhammer and Shakma is always good.
I want someone to buy the set, paint the monkeys orange, and then give them like cybernetic pieces.
So you can have Jakero, yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
It is finally time of the monkey.
I think my favourite of the whole set is the little guy, the goblin that's got the egg, that's carrying the egg. I like him.
I do love the little grots that come with the Cruel Boys. I've actually got a few of them, which I'm painting up at the moment. There is something about them wearing all of this like ridiculous armor and just being. Although I want to point out, did anybody remember the tin grots idea I came up with and started making? Yeah, hey, remember that? When
Yeah.
I made an army of grots that were all like armored, trying to mimic the Iron Jaws. Yeah. Oh look,
Yeah.
look what they did. Look what they did again. Yeah.
It's only one though this time. It's not
There's
full
only
on.
one.
Oh no, all the grots in the Cruel Boys army look like that. They've all got,
All right.
they've all got ridiculous armor on them.
So if we want something, we need to get you to start it, basically. That's
Yeah,
the way
you-
it works.
You
Adam,
need to get me to finish it. That's
right. Adam, can you do an Emperor's Children army, please?
Yeah, make a Fulgrim.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you could
I'll-
make a Fulgrim, that'd be grand.
I'll
Yeah.
just start sculpting a Fulgrim out of Magnus now. Yeah.
That'd
You
be fabulous.
Just buy Marathi, throw the
That's it.
woman part
You
away,
want-
and you're halfway there.
You want Marathi and Zigfold. You want
Yeah,
the
there you
lower
go.
half of Morathar. You want the upper half of Zigfold, and you've got Fulgrim. It's like done, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
easy.
That would look amazing, actually. Wouldn't
It would, wouldn't it? It would look just like Fulgrim, right?
As long
Yes.
as the two parts could match. Like if the tail
Yes.
bit's too big or too
Then it's not
small,
gonna work,
that's-
right.
It's gonna have,
Yeah.
there'll be problems. You'd have to do green woo nonsense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't paint it though.
But you'd have to paint it.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it'd have to be finished.
I wouldn't have to.
That's how
able,
it works.
I would not be able to paint it to look good enough.
No. But then the real one would come out, and then you could
Yeah,
be really
and
annoyed, throw it in the bin, and be like, "Well, I'll buy the new one."
But
That's how it works.
it's annoying, actually. It really is. But yeah, these guys are really cool. There's a lot going on here. I like the terminology that's been used here. The neck slicers.
Yeah.
They're really cool. The clutcher grots or the tamed gnarlwood howlers. It's going to be the name of my rap band. I love the line here. The clamber into a nest and fish out eggy treasure.
Yeah, what's that about?
I guess that's what the goblin's doing.
Yeah, I'd assume
Well,
that's it.
Well, there's a thing, isn't there, with the grots in AOS that they are obsessive. So the Moon Clan steal anything that's made of glass.
Yeah. So presumably
obviously-
these guys steal eggs, right?
Yeah, these guys are obsessed with eggs. Oh, great. Wonderful. Yeah, so let's move on a little bit then, and let's get into what ended up being the biggest thing. Oh,
Yeah.
Should I say the littlest thing?
Ah,
Wah, 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 wah.
Oh, damn, we've got a soundboard to do that now. Damn
yeah.
it.
And of
Should've
course,
pulled
this
that
is
up.
what they meant by not 40k, right?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think that's a bit cheeky, to be honest, but I'll let them have
I mean,
it.
it's 30k, so yeah.
So yeah, Epic's back. Epic's
Epic,
back.
right?
And It looks good.
New Epic.
It looks great. I mean, obviously, I mean, even the little miniatures look amazing, right? I mean, do you remember the old Epic miniatures, the little rank and file that were literally just little nubs of plastic?
Yeah.
I've literally got a squad of 5 termigans from Epic on my
Oh,
dining table.
really?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
still
so
there.
cool.
Now it's
So
fully
cool.
painted as well. They're so small.
They're
So very, very
tinchy.
small.
Aren't they tinchy?
Oh my god.
Is the scale slightly out for this?
It
It's
looks
bigger.
Bigger,
It's
yeah.
bigger,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's not the
But that's
same as
fine.
the original Epic, but then it kind of has to be, doesn't it? It would be very, very difficult to make anything of this quality or the quality that people expect on that old scale. I mean, a lot of those old Epic miniatures, particularly the rank and file stuff, it's just nubs of plastic. It doesn't really look like anything.
Cynical wise as well, it means they can sell the bigger like Titan scale ones at a higher
Yes.
price point, more in the
Yeah, of
60s.
course. Yeah.
So, if you can look at it from that business practice
Yeah.
as well. And that was already laid out. I think the scale for the most part has been laid out by Titanicus. So they're just kind of working backwards from that, I would guess.
Well, it's Titanicus and it's what was it called? Air Imperialis. Because it looks to me like both of those systems are being rolled into this one.
From what we've seen, yeah, it looks like it does incorporate the old Epic system where everything functions like a detachment, and you have orders, just like Epic Space Marine and what was the one? Was it Adeptus Titanicus that came
Titanicus.
after?
And of course, Titan Legions, the
Titan Legions, yeah.
1.5 release.
Yeah. That's how it worked back then. Everything didn't function like it does in 40k, where everything was an individual unit. Everything worked on the basis of orders, which was a really odd and interesting system, actually, because it was very difficult to predict what your enemy was doing.
Yeah. I will say, off out the bat, I'm not going to be getting into this one.
No, I mean, scale-wise, this is the perfect scale for doing the Horus Heresy. Actually, this probably works better than the 40k scale stuff because it's just the vastness of that war, right? That was the thing that defines the Horus Heresy in terms of the battles that took place. It largely wasn't skirmishes; it was like planet-wide apocalyptic wars, and this enables you to do that.
Yeah, if you want to play Istvan 3, or you want to play Istvan 5, or you want to play the Gates of Terror, this would be a very fun way to do it.
If they really want to push this, that's what they need to do. They want to run a series of narrative campaigns that are based around those big battles.
No, why wouldn't you? It'd be crazy not to do that.
Crazy not to do it, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. It's one of those weird things. It's like Epic's got a real heavy place in the history of 40k.
Yeah.
Purely because that without Epic, the Horus Heresy doesn't get to exist as such. It's a footnote in Rogue Trader, and there's a little bit of information, but not a huge amount. But because they wanted to get that large-scale, small infantry army on the cheap, this is the important part, on the cheap, they could only make 2 Titans.
Right.
Which is where the entirety of the Horus Heresy comes from, in order to facilitate having that original Titan box set.
Wow, God.
It's really weird. So as a piece of history, I think Epic's incredibly important, and
It's
I'm
important,
really glad
right?
it's back.
It's got a bit of a pedigree, yeah?
Absolutely. And it honestly, as a 4th go at Epic, I think this would be.
I mean, the one that really failed was Epic 40,000, wasn't it? That really tanked. It tanked hard. That did. People just weren't buying it back then.
No, which is
Wasn't it because the rules were bad?
The rules were pretty awful, yeah, and also there just wasn't much to it. A lot of the miniatures were just also rans from the original run of Epic. They didn't really do a great deal with it, and also many of the armies just didn't have releases. Like the Tyranids, bizarrely didn't have a proper release in Epic 40,000. Chaos didn't. It was really strange. Chaos didn't have a proper release. It was largely Eldar and Imperial Marines, and that was it.
Yeah, everything else got kind of bits and bobs here and there. I mean, you got the Tyranid Dominatrix.
Oh, that was from before, though. That was from Space Marine. That was a while before, But,
it's just it's one of those things. I'm really glad it's here. Yep. It's not something I'll get into, but it does make me ask the question: how many systems does this make on the shelves right now? And is this the most amount of systems? Because right now you've got 40k, AOS,
AOS, yeah.
Old World's coming, New Epic,
Yeah.
Warcry,
Horus
Kill
Heresy,
Team,
of course.
Horus Heresy, Underworlds.
Yep.
That's a lot.
It's
Maybe
a lot
the-
of game systems, isn't it? Actually, now that you mention it, yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Maybe the question should be how many are actually supported.
Yeah,
Because
Necromunda and Necromunda as well.
Necromunda, yeah,
it's been a long time since we've heard of anything Necromunda wise.
yeah.
Well, I mean, Forge World
been a
are
while.
still churning stuff out.
Yeah, so it's not. That's not real support. That's
It's only
specialist.
been about 8 months. Because
Only.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
8 months ago they released that new version, the Ash Wastes.
That's
that
right,
had,
yeah.
Yep.
all the new stuff that came out of that. Then you got the squats that came out in that. And then bits and bobs has been coming out through Forge World ever since. I mean, don't get me wrong, Forge World haven't stopped making stuff for Necromunda. It's there's still stuff that's been announced. It's on its way out.
I think when it goes to Forge World, though, it becomes very, very specialist because it's not like, oh, you can even just go to your local, not GW store, because those barely stock anything these days. You can't even go to like a normal store that's not GW related and pick them up.
No, true.
So yeah, it is another system. I actually quite like it. I'd be interested to see what the rules are like.
I'd be interested to see how much it's like the former versions of Epic, because from what I'm reading here, it sounds like it's going to be pretty close. And the original, like the previous versions of Epic Space Marine and Epic 40,000, they're very involved. They're very detailed. There's a hell of a lot that you've got to take in. They're much more tactical than games of Warhammer 40,000. So this could be one of the more like, it could be aiming towards the older players as well, which makes sense because of course it's older players that are going to be playing it anyway because of the nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
I think the biggest downside from my perspective is the lack of Xenos, and that's it. And it's I get it. It's Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
It's technically a way to save money as well because you only need to make one range of units.
Really.
Yeah. And that's it. It's like, okay.
That's it, yeah.
And hopefully they'll expand out later. But I was saying to Gruff when this first came out, I think like if they'd done like a Battle of Ullanor set, that would have been very fun. Because no one's done Ullanor. We barely know anything about Ullanor. I think that could be a fun little narrative campaign. Yeah. And it goes back to the classics of like Space Marines versus Orcs, which I kind of miss.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what
it could be one of the very few game systems where you have the Emperor involved as well, right?
Yeah. I think that'd
he
be very
nearly gets throttled to death, doesn't he, on Ullanor? Shame it did. Horse should have just let the Orc strangle him. Oh well.
Should he though? I don't. Who knows?
You've just reminded me of something that I was going to mention to you guys, and I've totally forgot about it until just now. But there was a thing I saw on Reddit the other day which made me laugh my ass off.
Rule 47?
No, it was a law question. Why wasn't the Emperor suspicious of Horus's betrayal earlier when he knew his surname was Heresy? I laughed myself stupid with that. And the first comment says, "You did it. You have defeated me, Horus Heresy. You really are the Warhammer 40,000."
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
That ruined me for about 3 hours.
That's very cool.
I want to see someone do a really shitty fan animation of that. Get the text-to-speech guys back to do that one thing. Just that meme.
Yeah. Oh god. Honestly, I was weeping when I read that. It absolutely ruined me. I was sitting on the bus giggling to myself on my way to work. Oh, sorry for disrupting that there. Just I remembered it was a thing, and then
I like it.
Had to tell you.
Oh, I like this Mechanicum Titan that we've got going on down here. He's lovely.
The Warhound.
The big guy
different one.
towards the bottom of the page. There's a Mechanicum Titan with a big cannon on his back. He's lovely.
Let me see if I can find him. I'm not seeing him.
Do you mean the smaller ones are in the tank? section, or do you mean the two Titans which are Warhounds?
No, those are Warhounds. No, there's
the walkers.
there's a picture of a big dude. I don't know if we're on the
Where?
same page actually. Next to the two flyers, there's a picture of a Thunderhawk and of an Imperial, an
yeah, I'm not on-
Astra flyer.
I'm not on that page.
Right.
That's
There's
the next page, but
right.
that's a page that we will now go to then. So,
Right.
Okay.
This is the 10 things you need to know about Warhammer.
Yes.
and all
Oh,
that.
this guy.
Yeah.
so yeah, we are the 10 things that you need to know. 1. Legions Imperialis, it's epic scale, the same as Titanicus and Aeronautica Imperialis. Combine your models into a grand host, supplementing your...
Oh, so you can actually use the
Yeah.
That's cool. That's kind of
Yeah.
fun. I like that.
And yeah, that guy looks like a Imperiata that's been shrunk down. And
He
he's
does look
very
like
cool.
an almost like proto Imperator, doesn't he, or
Yeah.
something like that, which is a nice idea. Were there Imperator scale Titans back then in the Horus Heresy?
Yeah, sure. Well,
I'm sure there must have been. There must have been like,
No.
or like equivalents of what they,
He grows up to be one.
Yeah.
They get pretty old, so.
I don't think there was.
No, because I think they were a later development, weren't they? Those guys.
They were. I think they were created in order to deal with the Mega Gargants, as
Right.
because they're ridiculous, and that's why orcs are the best.
Wow.
So yeah, General's Eye View. So basically, your detachments, as like George was saying earlier on.
I mean, this is directly from the original versions of Epic. This is how it used to play, right? You bought your detachments. It was really interesting. Like you had your detachments on cards, and they detailed like what they could do and how many miniatures were in each one. It was very abstracted compared to 40k.
I think it's interesting that the promotional material for the Marines, they're not painted as Ultramarines for one fucking
they're
shot.
Death Guard. These are
The Death Guard,
These guys.
yeah.
Which is
I was shocked by that. I was like, oh my god, it's not Ultramarines.
No,
Holy shit.
it's not. No, it is not. It's the Death Guard, which is as poster boys, you probably wouldn't have thought it, right?
Yeah, pre-Eisenstein-y looking Death Guard as well.
Yeah. Oh,
Because they
these are
fall pretty
definitely-
quick.
Yes, these are definitely not the Death Guard that will come later. These are
No.
pre like Nurgle's gift.
Yeah.
They haven't been turned into Plague Marines yet.
Yeah. Like I say, when they fall,
Terminators.
they fall hard and fast.
They fall hard and fast. They do. They
and
do.
ironically become
when
very
they-
slow.
Yeah, when they eventually emerge from the warp, they do not look like this.
No.
Poor Morty.
Well, he's a druggie, so let him be. Always sniffing on his fumes.
I do like the fact that you got the buildings as well. The buildings are back.
That's cute. Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, I always liked them in Titanicus. I thought those buildings were really nice.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Actually, sorry, no, I tell a lie. Emperor-class Titans do exist in the Heresy.
Right.
Several have cropped up in various books, including during the Siege. Thank you,
cool.
Big Swing and D. I hadn't realised that. I thought that... Granted, my knowledge of that comes from the Epic Titanicus game from 90.
Which is yonks ago, right?
Yeah, so I'm probably out of date on that one. I will put
Or
my hands
puppet
up
on
and
the
say,
stick. Or puppet on the stick.
Oh, actually, yes, I remember there was a book released, wasn't there, or a short story that had a picture of an Imperator Titan on the cover.
Yep.
I can't remember which one it was.
Oh man, Warhammer 40,000 Horus Heresy Final Liberation 2.
I just want, yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I'm in. I just want like some kind of remastered version of Final Liberation.
Yeah.
That would make me happy.
But I'd be happy if we got HD versions of just the live action footage. I'd be like, there.
Yeah,
That's all I need. Yeah.
Granted, that stuff would have all been filmed on film. So
Yeah, it was probably done with a handy cam.
yeah,
It might have even been done with one of those cameras where you had to turn the crank to film.
there's a rumor I remember reading years ago now, where the stuff that they filmed for that and the stuff that they filmed for that those Games Day footage was done on the same stage at the same time.
Yeah, that kind of doesn't surprise me.
And it's
What
I
a
don't know
day
how
that
true-
would have been.
Yeah,
That would have been a
must have
cool
been
day.
fun, right? That must have been fun.
Dudes in
Yeah.
Space Marine armor, Commissar
Yeah.
armor, a puppet
Gosh.
orc, a puppet
Yeah.
gene stealers.
Cripes.
Oh, you know that somebody would have had a puppet gene stealer and a puppet orc just having a puppet fight.
Kissing. They just hug each other and kiss.
Now kiss me. Moving on, of course, we've got this small but perfectly formed article which shows us how small these miniatures actually
Yeah, it's just
are.
This is
Scale
this
and
is the
whatnot.
article I will show future girlfriends as well after a night with me. Small but perfectly sized.
Well, this is why I call my penis the Contemptor Dreadnought.
I'm the emperor to myself, but yeah, I don't like show off. There's a small castle on top of it. It's a place of worship.
Oh, I've got jokes about the Cesarians battle tank. I'm like, no, not doing it. Not doing
They
it.
go to church, become a sister of silence. You know how it is.
Moving on very swiftly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically everything for Epic. It looks great.
It looks really interesting. I'm interested to see how it plays.
Yeah, I'm
wanna see- I
really
wanna see a
interested.
game. I want to see
Yeah.
a game.
yeah.
Because I like I say, I could be tempted. I don't know
I
if
think
I'd be
I
able
could
to play
too.
it, but it's like,
I think I could too, just for fun, for the game
Yeah.
system more than anything. I would like
Yeah.
to see how it works. 'Cause I remember playing like Epic Space Marine when that first came out with a friend of mine. We were only kids at the time, and we found it so complex, but it was fun.
yeah. And the neat thing about the future boxes, you can build it as two separate armies versus each other, or just smush it together into one big
Yeah.
blob.
Yeah,
It's like, that's useful.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'd like to hear you and I Love Mess play it, Mr. Judge. I want to hear
Oh yes,
I think
would
that could be quite
actually.
fun.
I'm
Yeah.
going to definitely get them into 40k. So yeah, that is kind of that could be down the line.
surreptitiously give them Horus Heresy books and be like,
Yes.
don't read this one.
Happy
Don't read this one. Read this one.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Happy Christmas. Here's every single Horus
He's
Heresy
Nemesis. He's Battle of the Void.
book. No, you've got Nemesis just on fire in the set. Oh dear. Should we move on to Blood Bowl?
Yeah,
yeah.
wow, there's some good stuff happening here.
This guy is amazing.
He's great, isn't he? What a great sculpt.
Yeah.
Ivan Deathshroud.
Is he an old character remade or is he a new character?
I think he's new.
Yeah, I was racking my brains. I remember a lot of them. I remember characters like Bomber Dribblesnot and all of, Morgan Thorg and whatnot. I remember them, but I don't remember this guy.
I'll do a quick check, but I don't think he's a old one reborn.
He's friggin' cool, whatever he is. He's a brilliant sculpt.
Oh.
Okay. No,
Is he an old character?
he is an old character.
Oh wow,
Holy crap!
Ivan Deathstroke. I don't remember him.
No, he's not from that big third ed Blood Bowl. Super
Oh, he's even
colorful
older?
version. No, he's from the one that came after that, I think.
Oh right.
So there is a miniature here, which is really cool, but doesn't look like that. I can't really work out when he first appeared. I think actually he might be from the beginning of this new version. This new version of Blood Bowl, the current version of Blood Bowl.
Oh right. Okay.
It's just like a redone character. Yeah, I think that's what he is. Right. Yeah, cool. Because everything's got a more modern look to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's really cool.
He's a very nice sculpt. He is. I like the webs and things. That's very, very cool.
Mm-hmm. I like the fact he's got big Warcraft ghoul hands.
Uh-huh.
That makes me really happy.
He does.
Blood Bowl
yeah.
miniatures are just great.
They are
Yeah.
really good, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they're
They're
good.
full of character. They're like really bespoke sculpts. You're very like there's a slightly 2000 AD cartoony thing going on with them,
Yeah.
which I love.
I always feel that they look like what sort of fourth and fifth Ed Fantasy Battle would have looked like if they carried on with that style.
Yeah, with that aesthetic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the slightly cartoony look.
Yeah, that exaggerated proportions.
Yeah.
Rather than the more, I say realistic, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The more heroic proportions we've got now, rather than the slightly more cartoony ones. You don't get Vlad with a massive head these days, do you? No.
No, you definitely don't. Don't get Vlad these days, sadly.
No, true, very true. I really like this guy as well. That he's a barbarian king who keeps dying and then resurrected to play in Blood Bowl.
Just to play Blood Bowl, yeah. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, he's not entirely sure what he's doing. He doesn't actually realise he's playing the sports. He just wants to try and kill dwarfs. That's
Yeah, that's
literally it.
brilliant.
He's really fun. Moving on to Warcry then. So
What have
there's
we
a
got
new
going on in Warcry? Oh, we've got...
the new starter set has
Oh,
been
yes.
revealed. And a really nice icy.
Yeah, slightly different aesthetic going on here, right?
Yeah,
This is a cheaper one, right?
I think yes. Yeah, this is a smaller starter box.
Yeah.
But you get vampires and 3 Stormcast.
Yeah,
You get
more
the blood core.
Stormcast.
You get the blood core, and I can't remember what the Stormcast one is called. But it's one of the ones from Underworlds.
Oh, so these are
Yeah,
miniatures we've seen before, yeah?
Yeah, all of them are. I think the only
Right.
things that might be new are the scenery.
Yeah,
I'm not
the
sure.
scenery is rather lovely, actually. It's some cool scenery there.
I think the
I
scenery
like that
is new.
totem thing. I like
Yeah.
that totem thing, the vampiric sort of totem. That's cool.
I like the big boiling blood that's just pouring into the coffin.
Yeah,
That's perfect. Love it. Yeah, it's really nice. It's
it's a nice set.
yeah, this could be a good way of getting into Warcry, to be honest.
Yeah.
A really nice small scale, 2 small warbands, and
Yeah,
really
decent miniatures.
Yeah, I mean the vampires are really nice. We've said that many times in the past when these guys first hit that they're really good. Stormcast are good, but
I mean, they're
this-
Stormcast.
Yeah, it's more of
Stormcast.
them.
They're
Yeah,
good. You know, they're decent,
Yeah.
but they're Stormcast.
Yeah, I do like the fact that the leader has a pig shoulder. That makes me happy. But apart from that, yeah. So yeah, that's rather cool. And next up, we've got 40k starter sets.
More of them, or new ones.
Yeah. So this is just breaking down
Oh,
the
yes.
Leviathan box.
That's it, yeah. And I like the fact you've got different grades. That's kind of fun.
They did the last edition. It wasn't a shock that they'd do it again.
No,
Gives
it's
people
kind of
again
fun.
cheaper options to get in, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I think the fact that there's... I was really hoping that the introductory set would have had Terminators, but of course it
No,
wouldn't.
no, yeah, they know that that's
yeah.
a big selling piece. It's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
But
And they are one of the more sort of specialist units as well, aren't they? So they're
Yeah.
definitely going to go for like the more standard Space Marine units for the starter set.
Here's a weird one for you. Have we seen anything of just the core rulebook being released by itself?
yeah. There's the
Yeah,
we talked about it earlier. The limited edition
Yeah,
version.
there's a limited edition version, but I mean just for the
Oh, yeah.
to go on the shelves.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been released
yeah.
alongside. There's been a version
Yeah.
of it released alongside, yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
had like the two like chaos and loyalists fighting on the front
That's
cover. It
right.
looked okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't a crazy
Ah,
cover.
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Because I was part of my brain was just going, is there a
Is
core
there-
rulebook I can just buy for myself?
But yes.
Please say yes, because
Yes, it
I'm starting to
definitely
worry
is.
now.
I actually
But,
like the art on the box sets here a lot more than the artwork on the box set that George has for 10th.
Oh, the Leviathan
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, because this is a full-on battle rather
This
than
is
just
proper like
two
4K
faces.
artwork, isn't
Yeah.
it? It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I like the fact that depending on which version you get, it's more zoomed out. I just find that really cool. It's like, oh, you're only buying the introductory set, are you? Here's a really zoomed in picture. What you want to do is go for the ultimate set because then you see the entire picture.
What
No,
want
you
to
don't want-
get all of them, so you could put them in like a, in a sequence.
You don't want the ultimate one because it's black and white. They've desaturated it.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
least
True,
visually
yeah.
appealing one. It's
Yeah,
the standard
yeah.
one.
You just want the starter set. But yeah, it's really cool. I'm really glad to see that they're bringing this back because it's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's
And of
nice.
course,
It's a nice sort of introductory thing.
I like the fact you get some buildings as well.
Yeah, and a battle mat in one of them. That's cool.
Yeah,
They actually
it's,
sent me a battle mat, you know, it was a freebie with a Leviathan box set, a big sort of 4-sector battle mat that's made out of plywood. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just as a freebie, it's really nice.
holy shit, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
It was actually, I was really surprised. I was like, this is bloody heavy. What's in this, you know?
Was that your game store's bonus? Because I heard that some game stores had different kind of bonuses.
Oh, no, this was direct from Games Workshop. So,
Oh, no, well.
yeah, this came directly from them. So, must have been, I don't know, some loyalty thing or something.
No, maybe.
Some loyalist thing, you mean?
Wouldn't be for
Oh,
me then, would it?
but
The
I
final
like
story
the,
of
I
this.
must say, I almost want the Ultimate starter set. It's got like the buildings and everything. It's kind of cool.
You're going to end up with so many
I
Terminators.
know. I've got so many boxes and things already. It's ridiculous.
no, he'll never have as many as Darren. Darren has the most Terminators on the Discord. He has the most Terminators.
There is a lot of Terminators. I'm highly jealous.
I must say, I like Terminators.
He's
And I like the
you
fact
with the
now in 10
Terminator
we can
version.
have, we can actually have entire Terminator armies if we want.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's nice.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I'm tempted.
At some
I'm tempted to make like a Scarab occult, just army. That would be nasty.
I'm really considering the idea of trying to find a way of putting Terminators on bikes. 'Cause I just think that would look hilarious.
It would look hilarious. They'd look like like an adult trying to ride a kid's trike.
Could you put them on like the Votan's bikes?
That
Work
might
on
work.
them.
Yeah,
That
maybe,
might work because
maybe,
they are
yeah.
quite big, aren't they? They're chunky.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you lose some of the amazing visual appeal of tiny bike.
Small bike,
Massive
yeah.
rider,
That's-
If they don't look like the bears on a tricycle, then
Yeah,
I'm
then
not in.
you're missing the point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the final story for today, it's one that just popped up this morning, but I felt
Oh,
we
this
really
is
had to get into it.
exciting. This is exciting, right? How often have we said this, Adam, when we've talked about the Fabius Bile books, that we want a series where it's just Bile like in conversation with one of the other characters from the 40k universe?
Absolutely.
This looks like it might be that.
Yep. It's a meeting of the minds between Belisarius Call and Fabius Bile.
Fabius
and
Bile.
I am in for it.
I'm up for this. I'm sincerely hoping that they do like talk at points, and it's not just like vile heretic, filthy loyalist, and they do actually have a little bit of powwow.
Well, there's crossover between the two characters. There are
There
points
is.
where they will agree, and that's
Yes.
the fun part. It's
That's
like-
the interesting thing. From what the blurb we've been given, it looks like it could be really funny as well. Because it sounds like Bile just invites himself to this symposia of his mind. He just like turns up.
Yep.
Is this going to be the Infinite and the Divine, but
Oh
with these two?
please! Oh please, be that.
It's a different author.
God.
Which-
Yeah.
It's Guy Haley, isn't it? And Guy
Yeah.
Haley's done some pretty good stuff, actually, if
Yeah,
I remember correctly.
Guy Haley is a solid choice.
Yeah.
The man does he does good stuff. So yeah, this could be absolutely brilliant.
By God, if it goes down that route, though, I'm all in. If it is that, I'm so in.
if they do another weird comedy book, then
Yeah,
But then
I'm up for that.
The way that this is being advertised kind of makes you feel that way, doesn't it?
Yep.
Typically, Fabius Bile has his own agendas beyond the scope of this cerebral symposium, so must face off against this assembled 41st Millennium Mensa meetup. God, I love alliteration. In this meeting of minds, only the brainiest can emerge victorious. Does the ancient crypto scientist have the edge he needs to succeed? It's like Freddy versus Jason DVD back cover.
Yeah.
It sings to me. It sings to me.
The way it's being advertised, it does sound like it's going to be slightly funnier than many 40k books, and I'm up for that. I mean, the Infinite and Divine is the benchmark, and that's hard to meet because that is an amazing book. I mean, that is spectacular on so many levels. We've got to do a Fluffenhammer,
The Battle Mallet.
Battle Mallet or something to do about that, because
Absolutely.
it's such a good book. It's such a good book whether you're into 40k or not. It's one of those great books where I think you could introduce someone through that book to the universe.
Oh, easily. It's like, what do you know of 40k? It's grim, it's dark, it's scary.
But did you know it was funny?
But read this and enjoy a weird camp sitcom for two undead immortals. Also, there's time travel. Also, there's a court battle.
There are dinosaurs. There are spaceships crashing into dinosaurs.
It's the way I have sold this book to everybody out that I've managed to make read it. It begins with an ancient, immortal, undead metal skeleton punching out a dinosaur,
Yeah.
and keeps getting better.
Yeah. It's
Have you got Ben to
stunning.
read it?
No, I haven't actually. I will. Oh no, because I don't want Ben to get into 40k yet.
Okay. Yeah. AOS
so-
first.
Yeah. I'm going to
Yeah.
start him off with the good stuff, and then I'll branch out. Then I'll branch out down the line. Yeah.
But no, I'm into it. Anything with Fabius, he has been such a good character in the literature. I'm well up for this, and Call actually. Call's been great too.
Yeah, well, I mean, Guy Haley's he's the voice of Call. That Guy Haley knows how to write Call.
Yeah.
If you think about the great work, Cole in that he's a masterpiece of a character.
Yeah.
He's
And of course,
absolutely brilliant.
like Josh Reynolds doesn't do 40k fiction anymore, does he? So
No, he finished up.
it would be nice. It's nice to see like someone else picking up Fabius Bile.
Yeah,
And I'm
granted-
hoping that they carry on that milieu for the character, because that version of the character is awesome.
Well, that version of the character's gone, though, isn't it? That's the
Technically, yes.
the version that we've got now isn't that.
I mean that's one of the great revelations, isn't it, of the Josh Reynolds books. I mean, I won't go into it here because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read it, but yeah.
That's a hell of an ending.
There's a lot more going on with Fabius than is presented in the standard lore. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. There's so much going on. Also, his backpack likes to fuck.
His backpack. The Chirigen is alive, and it propagates. It's really weird.
It goes like Goofy. It's so
It's
weird.
really strange. There's a lot of weirdness in those books actually, which I really like.
Which is really cool because they're just they're doing an omnibus as well. Well, there's an omnibus
Yes.
out, isn't there? So I recommend anyone get that. Omnibus.
Honestly, those three books, the Fabius Bile series by Josh Reynolds, they are superb.
I've never listened to Repairer of Ruin though, so I'm gonna have to get hold of that. I didn't know that was a one that was out. It's a short story that's
Yes.
out on audiobook. So I'll have to get hold of that. 'cause
Worth a look. I hold them up next to like John French's Araman series. They're that good,
weirdly enough, I would actually, and I know this is going to be something that people are going to take a sharp intake of breath at. I think the Bile books are better than the Araman.
Do you think they're
ones.
better than the Araman ones? Yeah.
There's not much in it, but I do think the Bile ones just hit me just exactly where I like.
They are very, very good. In fact, I've got an itch now to go back and reread them. I'm rereading at the moment actually Lords of Silence by Chris
Ooh,
Wright.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That sounds like a good one.
Wow, that's good. I wish that had become a series. I want more.
Yeah.
I really want more because that guy gets the Death Guard. Oh,
In a way that I don't think anyone else really has.
No. It's that psychological aspect that he goes into, which I love the most, where they are all increasingly mad. They're all becoming obsessive about minutiae and little obsessive habits, which is part of Nurgle's creed, right? I love that. I love that to bits.
Yeah. God, it's been so long since I've read Lords of Silence.
I'm about halfway through it now, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. It's the body horror aspect, which is wonderful with Captain Dantine.
Yeah.
Woof. Whoa. Jeez, that's nasty. That is some nasty body horror shit going on there.
I've actually I've gone right the way back at the moment, and I'm going through Storm of Iron.
Wow. So back to the origins of the Black Library.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Way back when, because that was one of the biggest sellers, wasn't it? That was one of the books that put it on the map, right?
absolutely it was, and it's been a very, very, very long time since I read it.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's a very good book, actually.
Yeah.
It's the one that made so many people want to play Iron Warriors. After that book came out, because it coincided with the 3.5 Codex, of course, and the Eye of Terror campaign. So many people bought Iron Warriors armies on the back of that book.
Yeah, and of course, friend of the podcast, Stu Murray, is still doing Iron Warriors.
Yeah.
That man has painted so many yellow stripes, it makes my soul hurt.
Dry brush so much like bolt gun metal, yeah?
Mm-hmm. I don't understand how he's done 11 billion of them.
That's amazing. I mean, like, but they were everywhere. Do you remember, like, White Dwarf for literally years after that? There were like so many Iron Warrior armies featured in White Dwarf after that. It was ridiculous.
If you remember that time, the two that you kept seeing was Iron Warriors and Crimson Fists.
Yeah, there were lots of both knocking about.
Still one of those weird things of, the Crimson Fists. They
Yeah.
were a thing.
Yeah.
They were a thing, yeah. But they were the poster children, weren't they? They were actually on the third edition Codex cover
Absolutely,
for Space Marines.
yeah. How weird is that?
How
Thinking back.
odd is that? Yeah, to think that was the case, right?
Aye. It's one of those really strange ones where you're like, Crimson Fists? Where are they now?
They barely get a mention. It's so weird when that happens. It's like the Crimson Slaughter for Chaos, right?
Yeah.
You know, when they came along and they were like the big new Chaos poster children for 6th edition Chaos, they got their own codex and everything. Now they're barely even mentioned.
It's a real shame.
It's kind of a shame because I liked them. I know a lot of people didn't. A lot of people really didn't like them. They wanted the legions. They didn't want renegades and whatnot. I thought they breathed new life into the Chaos lore. Myself, I thought they were an interesting take. You know,
I don't know. There's something about Renegade Space Marine chapters that
I like
really
that
interests me.
I
They're
like
not
that.
fully into the idea of chaos, but they're not. They don't follow the way of the Imperium anymore. 'Cause you
Yeah,
can do
I like
so much with that.
charting the fall and whatnot. Yeah, how they gradually, slowly degrade over time.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Aye, that's really cool.
And that's what you get in the Crimson Slaughter, of course. You know, it's kind of not their fault. It's kind of not their fault. It's a series of mishaps and like negative circumstances, and the Dark Angels, obviously, because the Dark Angels being the Dark Angels.
Dark Angel's got a Dark Angel.
Yeah, then they do. In that background, they really do.
Something I just noticed here is Mr. White saying that he gives it a month from release until the folks on Etsy are making earrings out of the Epic Marines.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree.
I just want to see
wholeheartedly.
that, to be honest.
So I think that's pretty much us done for this evening.
I think so.
So there's just a few things to ask. There's a question that popped up in the chat earlier on that I wanted to ask you guys. So Kakademon Slayer 4 said, "What's the scariest thing you've read in a Warhammer novel?"
Ooh, in a Warhammer novel, there's some very good. I mean, obviously, there's the Warhammer Horror imprint, and there is some very good stuff there. There's some very good stuff. There is a lot of stuff in the Horus Heresy as well that's quite horrific. There is, like, certainly early on, you know, when Samus turns up for the first time and it goes full bore horror.
Yeah. I am the man standing next to you.
That's pretty cool.
I would actually say the first Plague Marine. That's
pretty horrific. That's pretty nasty.
That's so well done. It really is a
Yeah.
horror icon, you know.
There's some great sort of Clive Barkerian horror stuff in Graham McNeil's Emperor's Children novels, like Fulgrim as well. There's a really nasty sort of, it's Clive Barkerian. It's sort of derived from the Cenobites and Hellraiser and that kind of thing. That's pretty cool. But in terms of like full bore horror,
Galaxy in Flame. Battle of the Abyss.
Battle of the Abyss is pretty goddamn awful. Yeah, it's pretty goddamn awful.
It's an existential horror.
Yeah, that's a different kind of horror.
That'd be Mechanicum for me then. This isn't a book. It's not a narrative. It's just things happening after each other.
Well, there's quite a lot, isn't there? Because it's so baked into the universe, there is actually quite a lot of horror that goes on. It's hard to pinpoint one particular thing.
Have you guys come across Deacon of Wounds?
Yes.
That entire situation with the maggots and the worms, aren't they? The worms that affected me.
That's just right doing the Nurgly stuff again, isn't it?
Yeah. That really affected me. Like, But for outright scared,
Nothing really. The only thing that's kind of freaked me out is like when I've been listening to an audio book, and you just have the narrator do the Samus stuff in a very whispery voice. In the first Horus Rising book,
Yeah.
I remember waking up in the middle of the night and that bit was on, and I just looked over my shoulder and was like, "Yeah, I was too tired to deal with this." Just skip the chapter and skip.
did I ever tell
Let me
you
go back
guys?
to sleep.
Did I ever tell you guys about my mate Ross and how he almost gave himself a head injury? So he watched The Ring one night. He thought,
Which
that was
one?
The Japanese one.
The original one. The
Yeah,
good
Ringu.
one.
original.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ringu. So he watched that. Thought, you know what? I want to get a screensaver of The
Oh
Ring.
no.
So he did that, and he fell asleep, leaving his computer on. Woke up in the middle of
Brilliant.
the night with that thing playing. Panicked, threw himself out of bed, fell over everything, and crashed into the
Fantastic.
floor.
Absolutely fantastic. What makes that even better is how self-inflicted it all is.
It's almost like the curse was real.
Yeah.
Only you did it to yourself. It's
Yeah.
it's
I love
fantastic.
that.
Always made me happy. Not that my friends being in pain makes me happy, just that story. I'm trying to think of anything else that really scares. I'm sure there's stuff out there that really unsettled me. There's definitely stuff that rattled me.
As we said earlier, the stuff with Captain Dantine in Lords of Silence is a different kind of horror. It's that existential horror because he's basically taken by the Lords of Silence, who are a plague marine warband, and he wakes up in a cell in their ship. And it's that slow realization and the gradual decay. What I love about it is the way they let him wander around. They don't keep him in the cell at all. They let him wander around the ship, seeing all the various horrors and experiencing all the disease and the filth and the wretchedness that's going on that ship. And it's the fact that he can't do anything. He can feel it happening to himself, not only in his body, but in his mind as well. His will to resist is slowly dissolving. And he's coming to accept it. He's coming to accept what's happening to him, and that's really quite horrific.
There's one I'm trying desperately to remember which book it is. No, that's not Warhammer Horror. That's one of the children's books. What are you doing in there? The Watcher in the Rain. That's the one. It's quite a short story. I think it's audiobook only, and that's got some sequences in it which are really, they're very, very Lovecraftian, but in a because of the sense of scale. The horror comes from the understanding and the realization of what you're actually up against.
Yeah,
that worked. That was really good.
There's I can't remember who wrote it, but there is one of the Primarch books, which is the one Conrad Kurtz, the Night Haunter, and there's a sequence in that where there's a ship, and they pick up. You know how Night Haunter is before the end of the Heresy is basically ejected out of a ship, and he's left to float in space for God knows how long. A ship picks him up, and it's just this little vessel of like menials. They're nobody, and when they thaw him out and he wakes up, he spends his time basically hunting them and terrorizing them and mutilating them.
No good deed goes unrewarded.
Nope, exactly. And it's really quite nasty. It's really horrific. That's pretty cool.
I now want the Night Haunter's tagline to be "No child left behind." But the one that is going to be my overall answer is the Orfeo trilogy, and the first of those ones, where there's a sequence where Orfeo has to work his way through a subterranean cave system that's in the mountain behind the castle. It's set in the Border Princes, and the description of the darkness in there, that got me way back when. I mean, granted, I would be 10 when I was reading that.
Yeah.
But that really got me.
Oh, we also mentioned earlier the Liber Chaotica.
Yeah.
Where you've got that narrative running through where Richter Kleiss is slowly going mad. He's slowly starting to see visions of demons and the realm of chaos, and they're whispering to him, and that degradation happens across the course of the books. That's pretty damn horrific.
Mm-hmm. There's probably more, but I can't.
There
think
is
of anything
there
off
is
the
a
top of my head.
lot actually. There's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. We could actually do an entire battle mallet or something about this. We really could.
I think that sounds like a damn good idea to me.
I think it's a good basis actually.
I think that's also a good reason for me to say, on our Patreon, there is now a show called Battle Mallet, where once a month you get somebody, well, you get me grabbing somebody with an oversized butterfly net and forcing them to spend an hour or so talking about a topic. And then 3 weeks later, you get a update episode where I respond to all of your feedback, all of your thoughts about the episode, about the topic, about the Fluffenhammer in general. And that is how Battle Mallet works, which you can get on Patreon. Give me.
Are
your
you
money.
gonna make a logo that's like Timmy Mallet?
I've done the Battle Mallet stuff. You guys know how much work I've put into
Yeah,
making
it's done a load actually.
fucking.
I love the adjacent ones and the Ages of Chaos ones you've done. Those are brilliant.
Each one has been a work of love, and I've really gone to town into trying to make the little title card fit. You know
Yeah.
what you're talking about. And what
There's
we're
a lot of
talking
those
about.
episodes now as well. So
There was a lot more than I thought.
yeah, there's a lot of them. A hell of a lot of them.
I thought getting the episode to title cards done, all 118 episodes at that point, that took me 3 weeks. And a whole of it's, very few of it is reused art. So,
Yeah, right.
oh my God, that was a lot of work. So I thought, that's the big one done. Then I started doing the Ages of Chaos one. How many of these has he done?
There's a lot. Yeah, I've done quite a few of them these days. Well, to be, even just the core line it's all of the Chaos codices and army books and battle tomes. There's a lot in there. And some of them are bloody long as well. I mean, that one I did about the 4.0 codex, that's a long one.
Yeah. Very enjoyable to listen to.
It was fun. I like listening back to that one because like the way I try to apologize for it, that makes me smile. It's one of the only ones that's really negative, right? It's like just wholly negative. We're gonna have to get into that one of the. Let's do a battle mallet about that because that I want to do one, just that one, which is just a rant. It's just wholly negative. I know we don't do that on the show, but that I think is the perfect subject for it. The 4.0 Chaos Space Marine Codex, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most loathed things they've ever put out.
We all get one. We all get one thing that we're allowed to rant about.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm going to hit the Matt Ward Space Marine Codexes.
Woof. Yes, you'll have a lot of people alongside you there.
With just rage in my heart for what they did to all of the Space Marine. Every single Space Marine chapter I got an absolute beating.
Hammering, yeah.
Just absolute horror shows.
Yeah.
And Andy would choose... What would Andy choose? What would be your rant episode?
Pricing.
Would that just be like money in general? Just like, you know what I fucking hate? I hate the fact that things cost money.
The cost versus the profit margins that GW have.
Yeah.
Versus other games companies.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We don't actually know how much they pay people. That's it's an interesting thing, and we'll never find out because all that information is very closely guarded. But yeah. Anyhow, I think with all that, then we are roughly about done. So, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I wonder where the tiger goes. Andy.
Me?
Yes, you get the tiger. The tiger is a metaphor for all the places that you are that you want people to come and find you.
Oh, you can find me on Twitter and YouTube and what? I was stretching.
It's like you were gearing up. It was like, it's like, time to start getting out all the self-promotion. Power up!
Gotta build myself up for it. Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, not Tumblr, that doesn't exist,
That doesn't exist anymore.
Decayed Andy, Rotten Corpse of a Human Being, not a 10-year period, don't forget. Also on the Moonbase 2 podcast, which if you type in Google and Moonbase 2 Transformers podcast, you'll find me and Mikey talking about Transformers each and every week. Believe it or not. Many years worth.
15 years at this point?
Yeah.
Long
Oh my god. So long.
There are children out there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Hopefully they haven't been listening to the show that long. That'd be
There's some children out there who learned their first words from you and Mikey.
Yeah, right. Wow.
It's weird. They say some words with a weird Irish accent, and nobody knows why.
Oh, it's like the phenomena of like American kids talking with British accents because of Peppa Pig, yeah?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's so weird.
I love that. I think that's fabulous myself.
Time to colonize them again. It's about time the Red came back.
Weirdly enough, I watched The Madness of King George the other night. It's a film I've always wanted to get around to watching ever since it first came out in like 95 or whatever, and I've never been able to get around to it. Finally got around to it. Great film. Really enjoyed it. But one of the things I kept thinking to myself was, I need to find a way on the show to start using some of the slurs he used for Americans. 'Cause oh my God, they're incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, the cleanest one was filthy backstabbing colonists.
Oh dear.
But anyway, George, the tiger
Yes.
is now for you. Where can people find you if they so wish?
You can find me over at YouTube, over on Exaggerated Elegy, currently doing a series on the Brian Fuller Hannibal show with my friends Elliot Chapman and Jack Graham, because we love that show to bits, and obviously Mads, it's Mads Mikkelsen. You can find links to all of my published work over at strangeplaygrounds.com, or if you go over to the Evil Empire of Amazon and type in George Daniel Lee, you'll find all of my short story collections. If you do buy them, please give them a review. It helps me a great deal. And if you want to come and chat, you can find me over at Twitter on Enigmatic Elegy.
Spot on. As for myself, you can find this show on Facebook. Just search for The Fluffenhammer. We have a group and a page. Make sure you could join the group. Group's lovely. Group's full of nice people.
Tis.
We also have a Discord. The Discord is fantastic. It is probably my favorite thing in the entire world, because the Discord is literally just nice people being chill as hell.
Yeah,
it's just
it's
great.
like the opposite of everywhere else on the internet that involves 40k, right?
It is really bizarre. I mean, earlier today, great big conversation about cupboards. It was
We've
brilliant.
channeled all of the positive energy away from the rest of the internet in this hobby.
Yeah, no one else is allowed any. It's just ours.
No, it's ours.
And I'll kill anybody who steals it. What? No, no, I've ruined it all.
You've ruined it now.
You can find links to all those things below. You can find me on Twitter at Grufflock. You can find me on Instagram at ADNickel. You can find me all over the place. And please go to adnickel.weebly.com to check out all of my other things, whether it be artwork, whether it be short stories, whether it be writings, and of course the Mean Streets, the history of the 2D fighter, is available on there for you to download for free. It's just a little audiobook, just for you. Come on, you know you like it. You want to know about weird Amiga 2D fighters you'd never heard of. Go on.
Body blows?
That's in there, yeah.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
So-
Jesus, God. Wow.
It was a labour of love from Prototron, that one.
Yeah, the Amiga trying to do a Street Fighter style thing doesn't work. Doesn't work.
I do intend at some point to put a lot more audiobooks up there. I do have stuff that some of it's quite old now, so it kind of needs re-recorded. But I'm hoping to get some other audiobooks up on there for people to download and listen to if they so wish. Mostly because I can't get them on Audible, because they have to be. You have to have the actual stories published on Amazon to be able to release them on Audible.
Yes.
Oh.
Which it's like,
What about but podcasts can go on Audible, can't they?
they can. Oh,
Can you release it as just a podcast?
I was going to
thing?
say, release it as a podcast. Yeah.
Who cares?
that might be the way to do it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Of course, we're also on YouTube. At the moment, the series that is running on YouTube is Feast of Bones, which is a long-winded tale of the Ossiarga Bone Reapers and the Ogre Moor tribes and the pacts that they make, then break, then make again. It's actually really good fun. Once that finishes, much to my horror stroke joy, the next one that begins is the next Age of Sigmar narrative story. The Dawn...
Yeah.
Did anyone else knew that these were happening? Or I just...
Had no idea until they turned up, but the minute I saw them, I thought, "Oh, Adam's going to be pleased."
He'll have a few days' work there.
do you know what I really liked? It's like 10th 40k comes out, and I'm sitting there going, "There's no narratives. Look at that.
Yeah.
No stories.
You've got a
Yay.
break for a little while.
I don't have to worry about that." And then in the background, they start releasing AOS ones and tell no one. The first I knew of it was James sent me the first 4. I was like, the fuck are these?
Yeah. Oh
Great.
dear.
Well, shit. So, with all that being said, we will get out of here. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are.
Thanks so much, guys.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Ah!